cyclist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on TalkSport.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on Sport. TalkSport. It's the double-O duo of the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksbee and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got Pussy Galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksbee and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on TalkSport.
TalkSport. Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents, and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com. Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder. TalkSport. Premier League Live with TalkSport. All the big goals and big moments from the world's biggest football league.
To Lacazette! First touch, first goal!
Ball into Mane! Brilliant! They have nicked it, Manchester United. Well, that is what champions do, right?
It's the most intense league in world football, and we've got all the action right here.
It's an outswinger! And it's headed in by Thiago Silva.
Jamie Vardy sends it down the middle, and Leicester have the lead.
That is exquisite from Leeds United. Sam Allardyce masterclass.
Premier League Live with TalkSport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against Manchester United from Anfield. I'm your host, Joe Shannon. Alongside me is the former Manchester United and England defender, Paul Parker, and this is Premier League Live. So the biggest fixture in the English footballing calendar takes on even more significance today at Anfield. The two most successful clubs in the game currently occupy two of the top three Premier League places, and they're separated by only 3 points ahead of this mouth-watering meeting on Merseyside. What of the team news? Well, the big news for Liverpool is that Xherdan Shaqiri starts for the first time in the Premier League since December 2019 in place of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who drops to the bench. That's the only change to the Liverpool side beaten at Southampton last time out in the Premier League. So it means that Jordan Henderson and Fabinho once again start in central defence, with young centre-halves Reece Williams and Nat Phillips on the bench. Joel Matip once more not fit enough to be in the squad. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's made 3 changes to the Manchester United side following their 1-0 win at Burnley in midweek. That was a victory that took them to the summit of the Premier League table. Edinson Cavani, Eric Bailly and Nemanja Matic dropped to the bench. Victor Lindelof, Fred and Scott McTominay, the 3 to come in. Let me run you through the two sides then. Liverpool with Addison in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Henderson, Fabinho and Robertson the back four, Wijnaldum, Thiago and Shaqiri in midfield, Salah, Firmino and Mane up front. On the bench, Kelleher the goalkeeper, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jones, Minamino, Origi, Williams, Phillips and Nico Williams. Manchester United, De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw, Fred and McTominay holding, Rashford, Pogba and Bruno Fernandes behind Anthony Martial. On the bench, Dean Henderson the goalkeeper, Bailly, Cavani, Mata, Greenwood, Alex Telles, Matic, Van der Beek and Axel Tuanzebe. Kick-off is less than 15 minutes away at Anfield, and let's speak to a former Manchester United defender, Paul Parker, who's played his part in this fixture down the years. Paul, it really is a game like no other, isn't it? It still is, in my mind, and I think in the mind of many, the biggest fixture in English football.
Yeah, I think I'll have to say that. There'll be people out there who'd want to argue that point, but I just think it's that game that just grabs everybody. Everybody's got an interest in it. Everyone's wants a say on this game, and I think even more so now, given, you know, for a time, there's Manchester United and Liverpool people are saying, which way is it going to go? Is United going to win it? Is Liverpool? Let's not forget City as well. And the other side, Tottenham, they're all around. They all think they're in the hunt for it. But the people that they want to talk about are Manchester United and Liverpool.
We covered Manchester United in midweek for that 1-0 victory at Burnley, and immediately minds turned straight towards this fixture here at Anfield today. Is this the biggest game between Liverpool and Manchester United, do you think, since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013?
I think given everything that's surrounding this game, and you're looking at United to lengthen their points tally at the top, and what's going with it, and they are both competing for the same prize. I mean, when I say competing, United haven't competed for this since Sir Alex retired. So yes, I think I'd have to go with that and say yes, it is at this moment in time. Maybe that moment where it has become the biggest. Well, it's mattered more than all the other games since 2013.
And Liverpool have this remarkable record at home in the Premier League. They've not lost in the Premier League here at Anfield since April of 2017. So 67 Premier League home fixtures without defeat. But Manchester United, as we know, have been so impressive on the road, not just throughout this season so far, but really since the return of football after the lockdown, unbeaten in 15 Premier League away fixtures. They haven't lost away from home, Paul, in the top flight since losing to Liverpool on almost exactly this day in 2020. Does something have to give, you feel, today? Is one of these big records, one of these fantastic records going to go?
I think a lot of people could be talking about this game being a draw, to be honest, if you're going to sit on the fence. I think there'll be a lot of people who maybe think it could go that way, but just how Liverpool are, and Liverpool need to come out the blocks at this moment in time. They haven't done it. They've just edged along, and they're still they're 3 points behind Manchester United, and they haven't got going yet. So at some point, Liverpool are just going to hit the button and they're going to go again, regardless of the fact they're missing players. They've still got a lot of very good players who haven't hit the high notes yet. So at some point it's going to happen for them. Could it be when this big fixture is the one that drags everything out of the players and gets them going? Is Thiago in midfield going to add something different as an attacking force to their midfield? Because their midfield, it wasn't about attacking, the one that won the league last season. It was about the front three for attacking. That midfield was all about industry, to get the ball back, to keep possession as long as possible when they did have it, and then try and give it into Firmino to try and feed maybe Mane or Salah. So it's a really interesting game, this one. I just think there's so much you can talk about because of what's gone on between the two sides over the last few years. Obviously this situation and no fans in there.
Yeah.
I think that's an advantage to Manchester United without a doubt, and there's a lot of people who hasn't been to this fixture at Anfield, and it's an incredible fixture at Anfield. At Old Trafford's a bit different because it's a bigger ground, more spacious in that way, but Anfield, everything's on top of you. When you arrive at the ground, it's on top of you, and the moment you walk anywhere within that area, as you get anywhere near that area, if you get offended, you don't look out the window. You put plugs in your ears, you don't look out the window, you get in the ground and everything's against you, no one likes you. You get on the pitch and they seriously hate you. This is different. This is going to be a completely different Manchester United-Liverpool game. That nothing else will ever be like this again. So United going to Anfield, I think that at this moment in time without the fans in it, does give them a bit of an edge. As long as the players are right mentally, they could really gain something from that, and that's themselves, that fear factor. You can just go and get the ball and throw it in without getting a mouthful of abuse off people, and certain players, it affected them.
Floodlights are on here at Anfield, the empty red seats all around. You've been hearing from the former Manchester United defender Paul Parker in the build-up. Kick-off is just a few minutes away. Let's hear from both bosses before we get underway, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Jurgen Klopp.
How it looks in the moment with how the football they play again. Man City is one game behind and is very close as well, so you have constantly to think about other teams. We don't do that. We just try to win our football games, and for this we need to perform on our highest level, because United is good, they always were, and that's it.
Well, if you look at the last few seasons, I think it would be an upset, and it would be a shock. I think our position at the moment is a product of all the hard work that we've done in the training ground, and what the players are putting down is every single day, and we probably deserve to be where we are at the moment. But I don't think many would have thought anything but another word for it than an upset if you go 6 weeks back, if we beat Liverpool at Anfield. So, but we're looking forward to the game, and hopefully we can cause that upset.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the Manchester United manager, Jurgen Klopp. Before that, Paul Parker. Very briefly, what a big test this is for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, taking his team top of the Premier League to Anfield. It
is, without a doubt. It's something that he mostly dreamt about doing, was managing Manchester United, managing in this fixture, and then being top of the league. And going into this fixture and being top of the league, and Liverpool chasing at this moment in time. It's only January, of course, but we know, it is what it is, and hopefully Ollie has got it right.
It is a special fixture in the English footballing calendar. It is quite simply Liverpool against Manchester United in the Premier League. Anfield is ready. We're ready. Full commentary coming up next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport. 20 years old and still not able to make a cup of tea.
That's a great starting point, I think. Excuse me.
With bitter experience comes great responsibility.
Let's go to Cumbria and Fraser. Fraser, good morning. Hello. Fraser, get out of that lane.
The nation's first and best commercial sports radio station.
Live, lubricated and legendary.
20 years of Talk Sport.
Previously on White and Jordan.
When I was at Palace, I would not let them on the training ground. How did you enforce that? Because it's my training ground, you don't go on it.
100% engagement.
I read this and I immediately thought of Simon Jordan. Look what you could have won. Here's that. Now you get this pile of pup, right?
Warning. Dangerous opinions ahead.
Jim White versus Simon Jordan.
Disagree to disagree continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Talk Radio.
Your trusted 24-hour resource for breaking news and non-stop conversation.
We've reached a perilous turning point.
Unparalleled radio for unprecedented times.
Doing nothing in the face of this quite rapid spread now is not an option.
Online, on DAB, and on the Talk Radio app. Talk Radio. Celebrating 20 swashbuckling years of Talk Sport.
Unbelievable!
The passion. The pain.
It's a shocking defeat.
The prima donnas.
I said a hip hop, a hippie to the hip hop, and you don't stop.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker.
Didn't say this in my contract when I joined Talk Sport, mate.
20 glorious years of Talk Sport.
I'll do a lot of things, so I ain't into that.
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
Previously on White and Jordan.
There will be a mad, dirty rush to turn around and say that taxpayers' money should go to bail out football clubs that won't be able to get the one commodity that needs to take a reduction, players' pay cuts.
A daily landscape of fire, football, and feud.
Are you confused.com? I'm confused as to why I'm sitting opposite you at times, yes.
Jim White and Simon Jordan continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Celebrating 20 years of Talk Sport.
Back of the net.
They said it wouldn't work.
What, you want to know what I want to say?
Sometimes it didn't.
Serious? You like illegal ads?
But somehow it did.
And wrongdoing by the US government.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
You are listening to Premier League Live. Joe Shannon and the former Manchester United defender Paul Parker, your commentary team at Anfield, as You'll Never Walk Alone rings out from the speakers. The skies are a dark blue, the floodlights are on, and of course the big thing that we're missing today is a packed Anfield. Nobody here in the stadium, just lots of empty red seats. I wonder whether that might be an advantage to Manchester United. At TalkSport Live on Twitter, if you want to get in touch for this massive game, the 171st top flight meeting between Liverpool and Manchester United. Paul, just a very brief word on the team news ahead of the game. Liverpool obviously without a recognised centre-half, but Manchester United have gone slightly conservative, haven't they, with that midfield two of Fred and McTominay?
Yeah, they normally brings them in for them to destroy everything, break the game up. I'm just surprised that Baye's not really started. That's the one that surprised me, because he has played very well, and sometimes certain players need that they're playing well. They need that confidence boost when they've played well, is to play in the next game, and he's going to be, not feeling that good about himself because he's missed out on this big game.
Well, we're going to now have a minute's silence in honour of the man who sang You'll Never Walk Alone, Jerry Marsden of the Merseybeat band Jerry and the Pacemakers, who passed away on the 3rd of January. There's a beautiful cover of the Liverpool programme at Anfield today, a picture of Jerry Marsden singing You'll Never Walk Alone. When you walk through a storm, there's a golden sky, as the lyrics go. Liverpool, the champions, up against Manchester United, who have been there and done it so many times in the Premier League, but have endured wilderness years since the retirement of Sir Alex Ferguson. Well, they're the league leaders heading to Anfield today. Are we about to see a shifting of the balance of power once again this season back towards Manchester? We might get a clearer idea by the end of the 90 minutes here at Anfield. It's a huge game, the biggest fixture in the footballing calendar, still in England. It still carries more weight than any other. Quite simply, Liverpool against Manchester United. And the visitors will get us underway in the first half, playing from left to right towards the Kop end at Anfield, as both sides take the knee ahead of kick-off in support of the fight against racial injustice. Manchester United in the grey shirts and dark grey shorts, white socks, Liverpool all in red, and the ball knocked back to Harry Maguire, who clips it long, high out towards the right-hand side. Gini Wijnaldum is there to half nodded away for Liverpool, and Sadio Mane deep inside his own half tries to wriggle away from Paul Pogba. Pogba, who scored the winner for Manchester United at Burnley midweek, keeps possession, and he's got the ball 10 yards from the near side corner flag. And was he fouled, Pogba? Well, no, he committed the foul on the Liverpool player instead, and Liverpool get themselves a free kick. A massive day, isn't it, Paul Parker? You've played in this fixture before, Liverpool against Manchester United. Is it as much about keeping your head and keeping your composure as much as anything else?
Oh, without a doubt, that's what it's about. And if you, one of those games where I think if you don't start right, it's very, very difficult to get out of that mode. If you do not, you might just lose the confidence. But I'll say it, without the fans there, it makes a big difference at Anfield. I just think it adds a little bit more towards Manchester United in that sense, because they haven't got the added pressure of those fans all around, because they make it very, very hostile there for this fixture.
It is deathly quiet, eerie at Anfield as Pogba swings in a high looping cross up towards Martial at the far post, tried to peel away from Alexander-Arnold, but Mo Salah is back for Liverpool to clear from the corner of the 18-yard box up towards the halfway line where Firmino waits and Firmino controls. Back in field to Salah, who nudges it to the feet of Xherdan Shaqiri, the diminutive, stocky Swiss player who is starting a Premier League game for the first time since December 2019 today. Xherdan Shaqiri, a surprise recall to the Liverpool side for him. Almost a year to the day, when Liverpool beat Manchester United 2-0 here on the 19th of January 2020. And it was really at that point that you felt that there was a shifting of belief and that everybody on Merseyside believed Liverpool were destined to win their first Premier League title. It's 0-0 this afternoon at Anfield. 2 minutes played. Liverpool with Alisson in goal. Alexander-Arnold, Henderson, Fabinho and Robertson the back four. Thiago, Wijnaldum and Shaqiri in the middle. Salah, Firmino and Mane up front. De Gea, the Manchester United goalkeeper. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw as Liverpool come forward. Shaqiri on the edge of the D, onto his left foot. Can he get a shot away? Squeezes the pass wide to Wijnaldum into the penalty area. And Robertson went for goal on the overlap. I think he was going for goal anyway, as certainly didn't come off if it was an attempt at a cross, and the ball lands in the side netting, and it's a goal kick to Manchester United, Paul.
Well, I think we've already seen in the direction Liverpool going, they're looking to get good ball retention and try and play through Manchester United, and they've gone and done that. They was very fortunate there, because I do believe Robertson was trying to put that across the 6-yard box, and he just scuffed it. I think he might have caught his studs or something on the grass, but he didn't hit it cleanly.
And Manchester United have a midfield of Fred and McTominay, both recalled to the starting 11 today. Rashford, Pogba and Bruno Fernandes behind Martial. The other change in the United side, Lindelof for Eric Bailly, who is among the substitutes. Manchester United have a throw out on the left-hand side. Luke Shaw will take it, left-back position, in front of the two-tiered Sir Kenny Dalglish stand. There's a big banner in the stand on the far side with the Liverpool crest emblazoned upon it as Fred gets a tackle in middle of his own half, but it's one back off Pogba by Sadio Mane, the Liverpool number 10. Robertson in support on the near side of the field. It's Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. 3.5 minutes played. Wan-Bissaka makes a tackle in the right back position. A little scrappy though. Liverpool have it back. They're dominating possession in these very early stages. Wijnaldum from the edge of the D knocks it back to Robertson. Forward to Mane, left hand edge of the penalty area. Look to try 1-2 with Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum holds on to the ball, plays it back to Robertson, and Robertson now finds the shaven-headed Thiago. Midway into the Manchester United half, floats a pass cross field and wide to Alexander-Arnold into the penalty area. Tried to play a low ball in twice. The first was cut out by Luke Shaw. It came back to Alexander-Arnold, and Xherdan Shaqiri will roll the pass to the centre circle. And are we already seeing, Paul Parker, the pattern of play being set up in the game?
Well, this is a pattern that Liverpool want. It's not one that I'm sure Manchester United are only going to want, to be honest. Allowing Liverpool so much easy possession and not getting really close enough even to foul them if they wanted to. They have to somehow stop this, and it just might mean them dropping that little bit deeper and starting from there and just get the lines closer together so they can't get in between them, is what they're doing, and then starting from there, because at the moment I don't think they've strung 3 passes together.
This is Premier League Live. Manchester United unbeaten in 11 Premier League matches, not lost since the start of November, and they've won 22 points out of a possible 24 in the Premier League in away games so far this season. Their last Premier League away defeat was here at Anfield in January of 2020. Liverpool, of course, with this amazing home record, unbeaten in 67 Premier League home fixtures. Jurgen Klopp barking instructions from the near side touchline with his baseball cap and glasses on. Sadio Mane left wing, deflected cross out to the edge of the D. Firmino got it behind Shaqiri and away from Alexander-Arnold inadvertently, and it's Martial, the number 9 for Manchester United, wearing gloves, dropping deep and winning it back. Exchanges passes with Luke Shaw on the far side to left. That's a good ball for Rashford. Gets to the dead ball line, plays it across, cut up by Fabinho on the edge of the 6-yard box, and out to play for a Manchester United throw.
Well, there's my 3 passes surpassed now. That was better. And they counter-attack there. They got the ball back. It was a stray pass from Liverpool, and they broke from there. Martial got it in a deep position, ends up playing the ball through for Rashford to get to the byline and try and pull it back. Now they've got a throw-in in the final third.
This tweet from Kojo at TalkSport Live, listening from City FM. Manchester United to win, he says. Want your predictions for the game today? Where are you listening to us from? At TalkSport Live on Twitter to get involved. This is the 171st top-flight meeting between the two clubs. Manchester United have only won 1 of their last 10 against Liverpool in all competitions. Remember, the sides meet in the FA Cup, the 4th round at Old Trafford next weekend. Shaw will take the throw. Manchester United in this dark grey and white away strip up towards the dead ball line of Martial, but it's too long for the Frenchman, and the ball goes out of play for a goal kick to Liverpool, and Alisson in front of the Kop. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, hands in pockets on the edge of his technical area. It really was a big win, wasn't it, for Manchester United, your old club, Paul, in midweek at Burnley, because to go top after New Year's Day for the first time since Sir Alex Ferguson retired and the first time since they last won the title, it really did feel like something significant, a milestone for the club that they hadn't enjoyed since the departure of their greatest ever manager.
Yeah, that's right. It's made a difference within the club. I think everywhere, everyone's talking about it. Some people are saying it's gone a little bit, dramatised, and it is only January. But for United, it's made a big difference. There's a good feel, an even better good feel factor at Manchester United, just because they're in the hunt. They're in a moment in time. They're in the picture to go and win the league. Them and another 4 or 5 teams. It's just so open at this moment in time. It's just important just to add consistency and just try and avoid, just keep winning games. If not winning games, make sure you stay in games and at least take a point out of them.
It is extraordinarily tight at the top of the Premier League table. Fouled by McTominay on Thiago. Out on the halfway line, McTominay, the Scotsman, recalled to the Manchester United side this afternoon. And Manchester United know that a victory, as Paul said, would take them 6 points clear of Liverpool at the top. We have more live Premier League football to come for you. Once we're done here at Anfield, we'll be off to the Etihad for Manchester City against Crystal Palace. And then on Monday night, Arsenal against Newcastle is our live Premier League commentary. Tackles will fly in, won't they, Paul Parker, just like that one from McTominay?
I mean, to be fair to Scott, he's actually gone to ground, Thiago, and as he's slid in, Scott was just there, and Thiago's gone into his leg. The referee gave the foul to Liverpool, but there was no intent there at all. He didn't even lift his feet off the floor, Scott.
A good play by Martial initially, weaving past 2 Liverpool red shirts, then he gave it away. Forward by Henderson, a sloppy pass. Pogba's got it down the right-hand side for Manchester United, threads it down the channel towards Rashford, who's offside. Liverpool get themselves a free kick. To more of your tweets, at TalkSport Live. Shangro listening from Ghana. United will win to make it 6 points. The gap between the two sides, says Shango. Chucks from Nigeria hopes to see Bruno Fernandes and Mo Salah get on the score sheet. This tweet says Liverpool to win 3-1. Bobby says, wonderful commentary, thanks Bobby. Listening from Lagos in Nigeria, hoping for a Manchester United win by a 0-0. And Steve on Twitter says, no matter who the winner would be, a draw wouldn't be entertaining or desired. Well, we will see. Wijnaldum wearing number 5, red shirt untucked for Liverpool, runs into traffic, Pogba wins it back. Manchester United had 3 players converging on Wijnaldum. Infield to Bruno Fernandes, almost got it through to Marcus Rashford. That was a great interception by Jordan Henderson, who floats it down the left wing, too long for Mane, out of play for a throw, but that was promising for your old club, Paul Parker. 0-0.
Yeah, it certainly was, and Fernandes has got in a position he wants to be in the final third. They got him facing goal with the ball at his feet, and he's tried a little pass round the corner into Martial, and it was intercepted by Henderson. Henderson doesn't intercept that, and Martial's going at goal.
We've had 10 minutes at Anfield in this eagerly anticipated Premier League clash, the biggest game of the Premier League season so far. Reminder that we brought you that victory for Spurs at Sheffield United earlier on Premier League Live. Spurs winning by 3-1, including a stunner from Tanguy Ndombele, probably the goal of the season so far. Tim's listening to us from the Echo Mountain in Colorado. He's going to shred the slopes on his lunch break, he says. I can't say I'm not jealous, I have to admit. Here come Liverpool on the counter-attack, but Firmino's pass is poor, intercepted by Martial, again dropping deep. And is Rashford the furthest player forward for Manchester United at the moment, Paul Parker?
He is. Martial is dropping off deeper on the left-hand side, so they are trying to find him, but he is on his own. And they have to get the ball into his feet for anything to happen.
Firmino back to goal, lays it off to Shaqiri. Now Wijnaldum edge of the D, very congested for Liverpool. Manchester United have plenty of dark grey shirts back behind the ball. Alexander-Arnold is onside, out on the far side, the right. Liverpool playing towards the Anfield Road end, that 2-tiered stand to the left in the first half, the smallest stand at Anfield. Thiago into the penalty area, too much on that pass though, threaded through for Salah, out of play for a goal kick. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0.
Yeah, that little moment there when Thiago got on the ball, straight away saw what he does add to that midfield now. They've got someone in tight areas with very quick feet and can go past people when he doesn't really have to. He can sit behind them, but the moment you sell yourself there like Fred did, he just glided past him. It was just the weight of pass at the end which cost it, otherwise they would have been in behind on the byline, Liverpool.
Such a strange atmosphere here at empty Anfield, of course. This game once again being played behind closed doors, but no doubting the significance of a fixture like this between Liverpool and Manchester United. Rob is listening from Ohio in the United States, cheering on Liverpool. At TalkSport Live on Twitter to get in touch. High ball floated forward, headed away by Victor Lindelof, who's missed the last couple of games for Manchester United with injury. He missed the 1-0 win at Burnley in midweek. Eric Bailly deputising. And it was a really hard-fought win for Manchester United. As far as Liverpool are concerned, though, beaten away at Southampton in their last Premier League game. And Liverpool have dropped 18 points already so far this season. In the whole of the last two campaigns, they dropped 17 points in 2018-2019 and just 15 points in the whole of last season. What do you put that down to, Paul Parker? Is that again a symptom of the fixture schedule and the injuries that Liverpool have had?
We could maybe say that. I just think a lot of the teams now have got a little bit more belief about taking on Liverpool. Mm-hmm. When last season there was a lot of teams who weren't looking sometimes even bother with that fixture. They were accepting it, and they was more concerned about the fixture after.
And Wijnaldum tries to thread the ball down the near side, angling out towards Robertson. Sliding in is Paul Pogba with that streak of dyed blonde hair, the gloves on. Near side of the field, Pogba, a tall, powerful presence. He's conceded a throw, though. Good tenacity from Wijnaldum to win it back initially. And I think the referee has given Liverpool a free kick here. Paul Tierney is the man in charge. And Robertson from the halfway line plays it back to Jordan Henderson. Neither goalkeeper's been tested as yet. 13.5 minutes played, and it is still Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Alexander-Arnold out in front of the base of the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand. The floodlights on. Thiago striding forward through the middle to Firmino. 5 yards to the edge of the penalty area. Onto his right side. Gets away from Pogba. Strikes it low. Takes a deflection. Comes out to Robertson on the angle. Hits it on the half volley and slices it high over the top. And it's a goal kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, the ball should have been out earlier with Robertson. He made a run. He made a really good late run. Pogba hadn't seen it. No idea that Robertson was there. Wan-Bissaka had overcovered, which he does quite often, and if the ball had been given to him, he would have been there on goal, but by the time it does get to him, he was closed down by Wan-Bissaka and McTominay.
You're absolutely right, Paul. There was a massive gap, wasn't there, for Firmino if he threaded it left to Robertson.
Yeah.
And unlike Firmino, not to be as aware in the build-up.
I was just surprised he didn't see it.
Liverpool have dominated possession so far, over 70% of the ball in the opening 14.5 minutes. That's not a massive surprise, though, is it, Paul, given the way that Manchester United set up and like to set up, particularly away from home. McTominay, though, has given it straight to Thiago, and the more Liverpool have of the ball, of course, the more a potential threat they will be. I think there's a problem with the ball. Has it gone flat? I think it has. In a game like this, Paul Tierney has kicked the ball out of play. Jurgen Klopp's had a look at it, a wry smile from the Liverpool boss, and we're going to need a new football, Paul Parker.
Yep. It was right for Liverpool to actually make their mind up it wasn't right, because they've had it for most of the time.
Here's Thiago, the number 6. Great for Liverpool to have him back as he tries to float the ball down the right of centre, up to the edge of the penalty area, and Salah, good covering by Shaw to send it back to David De Gea, whose clearance was not the best, floated high to the lip of the centre circle. Liverpool coming forward again, all in red. Shaqiri, wide to the right hand side, and Salah glides into the penalty area, that trademark run, looking to shift it onto his left foot, but good covering by Luke Shaw, who's having an excellent season at left back for Manchester United. Square pass to Fred, inside his own penalty area. Fred will hack it clear up towards the halfway line. And Bruno Fernandes had it taken off his toes, and then Alexander-Arnold balloons the ball back to his own goalkeeper Alisson, all in bright green, and Alisson, ever the composed figure, takes it down on his upper thigh, and Liverpool come forward again. Shaqiri, great ball to Mane, inside the penalty area, lays it back to Firmino, who strikes it wide, first time left-footed. It's the best chance of the game so far, and Roberto Firmino has spurned it, and it's still goalless in the Premier League at Anfield.
Well, that was just a typical Liverpool move, with getting Mane in between Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof. He couldn't go on, especially as he was blocked off. He gives it Firmino, and I'll tell you what, Firmino again in a similar position as he was before, should have given it to Robertson. Robertson has made another late burst, and he could have just rolled it to him, and he didn't. He's shooting when he's off balance, off his weaker foot. The pass to the left would have been the better decision.
Yeah, that's really poor from Firmino again. I think he's seen the run of Robertson as he's looked up, but didn't elect to play it square to him. And it's still 0-0, 17 minutes gone. This is Premier League Live, and now Manchester United can attack with Fred. Lovely ball through the middle to Rashford. Out comes the goalkeeper. Eventually he stays at home, and Robertson shrugged aside Rashford, who is then penalised for a foul on the Liverpool defender. I tell you what, that's worth a second look, Paul Parker, on our monitors here in the commentary position. It was a fantastic ball through to Rashford from Fred in the first instance.
Yeah, maybe two centre-half. Well, the defenders got split. No, I mean, there was more. It was a foul from Rashford. He had his arm hooked around Robertson.
Manchester United can come forward on the attack with Martial. Poor ball in field, cleared away down up to the halfway line, high and long up into the darkening night sky by Alexander-Arnold. Still goalless here. And do get in touch with us at TalkSport Live on Twitter. Your thoughts on the game so far. Martial hugging that left touchline. He's been flagged offside. Free kick to Liverpool, who take it quickly, and they're trying to keep the tempo high here, Jurgen Klopp's side. That was a massive issue for them against West Bromwich Albion, particularly is the game that comes to mind at Anfield most recently, that 1-1 draw against Sam Allardyce's team, when they were frustrated and didn't have any of their usual gusto. And of course you would think, Paul Parker, the longer it stays 0-0, the happier Manchester United will be.
Oh, without a doubt. And you just mentioned about that West Brom game. I mean, Liverpool huffed and puffed, but they just really were struggling just to find that bit in the end, really. The front three haven't really been anywhere near to what they were last season. They've lost that cutting edge, and I just wondered that Thiago in that midfield, he could add that little bit of a different dimension now to what Liverpool do going forward as the three. The fullbacks haven't been as prominent as well for Liverpool as what they were last season. Teams are kind of in a way stopping, and at the moment in time Trent Alexander is not getting in positions he was earlier, and that's because Martial was definitely deliberately on that left hand side to stop his forward runs.
Robertson crosses in from the left, cut up by Lindelof, comes out to Wijnaldum, 1 yard from the edge of the D, square to Shaqiri, up to Salah at a slight angle with his back to goal momentarily. Fred gets back with a crucial intervention, whips the ball off the toes of Salah, away by Shaw. Good intervention by Thiago to win it back. Out on the Liverpool right as they look for the opening goal. Steers it back in field to Wijnaldum. All the play here happening almost on the edge of the Manchester United 18-yard box. Wijnaldum now has retreated to a midway point of the Manchester United half, but they're coming forward relentlessly here in the early stages, the team in red. Shaw will clip the ball out of play. Liverpool throw on the far side, level with the edge of the 18-yard box.
Yeah, in this moment you'd have to say that United, as much as they're not having a lot of the ball, and Liverpool are, they're defending really well, because David De Gea hasn't had a shot really, nothing to save at this moment in time. The two opportunities Liverpool have had, they've been off target.
A 0-0 the score. Neither goalkeepers really had a touch of the ball, a meaningful touch so far. Robertson, 10 yards from the corner of the 18-yard box, speeds in field at great pace, plays it square to Shaqiri, one-touch control, deflected effort behind and out of play for a corner to Liverpool at the Anfield Road end.
Yeah, there's too much time on the edge of the box. Shaqiri's been a couple of times when he's got on it and he's had time to look up and think what he's going to do next. Ball just comes to him and he just pushes it forward and misses the target via a deflection.
Corner was taken quickly. Alexander-Arnold trying to whip in the ball from the right-hand side on the dead ball line. Bruno Fernandes sliding in, so a second Liverpool corner in quick succession, and Alexander-Arnold, wearing number 66, curly-haired, will go across to take it. Not a great deal of height in this Liverpool team. Fabinho, you would think, is the obvious target. Henderson is forward from centre-half as well. Whipped up towards Mane. Good header away by Victor Lindelof for Manchester United, who are camped deep inside their own half. They can't get the ball at the moment. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side. In by Alexander-Arnold, in swinging left-footed. Away by Pogba. Comes back to Salah, and Wan-Bissaka takes a touch from Manchester United. Darts forward from the right-back position, and now here's Pogba just shy of halfway. Tried to go cross-field. Easy interception for Alexander-Arnold, who immediately floats one high through the middle. Up to Mane, left to Firmino, in the area. Firmino onto his right foot, curls one. Great block that by Lindelof, and then the volley from Salah is clean over the bar.
Yeah, again, that was a counter-attack by Liverpool, maybe their first one, because United gave the ball away cheaply. Paul Pogba has tried a Hollywood pass on one side of the pitch, the other. It cut out so many Manchester United players that they get the ball. It was a poor pass in the end, and they straight away break away Liverpool. And to be honest, it was a good block by Lindelof. Salah's come in to half volley on the deflection off Lindelof, and he ends up screwing it high and wide to the keeper's right.
As we tick towards the midway point of this first half on Premier League Live, to some of your tweets, Stevenson in Ghana says, I see my team Manchester United winning this game. Chris is listening from Iowa in the United States. A Liverpool fan backs his team to win by 2-0. As the ball is knocked long up towards Salah again. Salah with his back to goal, won the initial header, gets it back from Firmino, whips the ball low towards Robertson on the near side, first time cross, Mane's little touch, back to Shaqiri, edge of the penalty area, Manchester United with bodies back behind the ball, Shaqiri, golden boots, tries to whip it in left footed, and sheer weight of numbers again helping Manchester United out there. Liverpool having all of the ball, but they haven't really created a meaningful, clear-cut opportunity.
No, not at this moment. The problem is United are sitting so deep, and it always worries me when teams do that, because you're reliant on everyone staying really concentrated in what they're doing. Just needs that one moment when somebody laps, and then you're struggling then to get out. You need to come out, and it's very difficult to switch on and switch off at the moment. United have just gone very, very, very defensive at this moment in time. Scott McTominay and Fred are sitting back virtually in front of the centre halves.
Well, we have seen it before, haven't we, here, Manchester United at Anfield. I can remember under Jose Mourinho a few years ago, grinding out a dull 0-0 draw. Manchester United, who haven't got a great record against Liverpool in recent times. Robertson first time cross, away on the volley, scooped upfield by Lindelof, cushion header back from Thiago to Henderson, and Liverpool will build again from the halfway line. It's one-way traffic at the moment in terms of possession, but it is still 0-0. Coach Mirsky on Twitter, listening to us from Indiana, backing Manchester United to win 2-1. Daniel's a Manchester United fan listening in Nigeria, says he's feeling really shaky at the moment. I can't say that the nerves will necessarily ease as the game goes on. Alexander-Arnold crosses, steered up into the air by Maguire. Not the most convincing of clearances, slightly awkward from Maguire. Then Martial, well, it looked like he was leaning over the back of Shaqiri, but the free kick has gone the way of the visitors.
Well, that's a little bit of a surprise, that one there, by the way. I think even Shaqiri's kind of looking and kind of thinking to himself, no, I mean, I really don't see how that really is a foul. He's just virtually stood there. He's seen where the ball's going, Shaqiri, just stood his ground, and Martial was jumped almost on top of him, and the foul's gone against Shaqiri.
That was a slightly odd decision from Paul Tierney. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won't mind, though, watching from the edge of his technical area, hands in pockets, poor ball away by Maguire, comes straight to Mane, left-hand edge of the area, crosses it low, cleared away, straight to Wijnaldum, edge of the box, shot blocked by Maguire. Now Thiago takes over. Liverpool dominant here, but it's still 0-0. Shaqiri with a curler, and it's over the top from 20 yards.
Well, I think that had to happen at some point. Harry Maguire getting caught in possession. He left it so late, and he's gone with his right foot, trying to go across out to Wan-Bissaka, across the edge of his box with a pass, and it gets half blocked, and it ends up with Liverpool just getting possession and just virtually turning it into a pinball session there in front of the Manchester United goal. That was just very much amateurish there, what they tried to do. They got closed down, and they're doing it again now, putting themselves under amazing pressure.
And trying to play out from the back. This time they have done it up to the relative safety of the halfway line, and Marcus Rashford, the Manchester United number 10. Wan-Bissaka nudges it back in field to McTominay. The Liverpool press is as vibrant as ever. Manchester United, though, have retained possession here as we tick towards the 26-minute mark, and Shaw has got it just shy of the halfway line. Stephen, listening from Nigeria, as Manchester United give it away again. Stephen says, I'll go for a draw today, which would favour Manchester United. Great to hear people listening from all around the world to the commentary. Steve's a Leicester fan. He says a draw would be ideal. And Kevin Morrison, following the action from California, says, time to see if United are for real. It's certainly a big test for them. And so far, it's 0-0. Shaqiri for Liverpool plucks the ball out of the air with good grace, but then is dispossessed by Fred. That allows Shaw to dart forward down the Manchester United left, up to the edge of the penalty area, twisting, turning, laying it back to Bruno Fernandes. It's his sort of range, through towards Martial. No way was that going to beat a cluster of red shirts on the edge of the penalty area. Fabinho was one of them, made the interception, and Liverpool have got it away. It's come back to Harry Maguire, powering through the middle. Maguire, well, you said it all, didn't you there, Paul?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he was trying to do. Was he trying to thread it through to Martial?
No,
but he knocked it too long.
Sorry, he just ran into a cul-de-sac and didn't know what to do. Kicks it, ball out for a goal kick, and then he's looking around trying to say to people, oh, you should have been doing that. It was pointless what he done. I don't know why he ran with the ball. He got it back, just pass it, just give it to someone rather than just ran. He just ran straight towards a cluster of players.
Manchester United, the league leaders. You have to say, though, as you look at the game so far, yes, Liverpool have dominated, yes, they've had half opportunities, but De Gea has been untested. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will have been pleased to have reached the 28-minute mark with the score still 0-0, and his side now have a free kick right of centre, 15 yards into Liverpool territory.
I think they've got to be clever with this, and they've got to get the ball in, get the players in there to attack the ball. They really just need that bit of quality when you're struggling to get forward, and at the moment you get any dead ball situation, you have to make the best out of it. Now they need quality to give them an opportunity to work Alisson in the game.
Liverpool without a win in 3 Premier League games. Remember, without a home defeat, though, in the top flight here since April 2017. 67 matches. Manchester United have a free kick. Liverpool have virtually everybody back. Long line of players on the edge of the D. Whipped in high by Bruno Fernandes. Shaw collects on the far post. He stayed onside. Cross takes a deflection. Liverpool can't get it away. Eventually they do with Salah, who scoops it up into the dark skies above. Here at Anfield with the floodlights on, the empty stadium, and Liverpool now looking to counter-attack with Salah right in front of Jurgen Klopp. Has he won a throw just shy of halfway? Yes, he has. And Manchester United couldn't make anything of that free kick. Thiago, middle of midfield, elbows jutting out, rolls it into the feet of Mane with some pace. Mane back to Fabinho. Liverpool at walking pace now. They slow the game down, still goalless as we approach the half-hour mark, and Jordan Henderson deputising in central defence again. No Van Dijk, of course, for Liverpool, and Joel Matip either not fit enough to be in the squad once again. As we mentioned earlier, they do have 2 young centre-halves on the bench, do Liverpool. But I don't think anyone particularly surprised, Paul, that in a game of this magnitude they did go with Fabinho and Henderson again.
Yeah, they've gone with experience. The young boys have done quite well, but this game could have been too. Well, I'm going to come out. Would have been too big from their moment at the moment in time. They've just gone with experience. They've kept experience at the back. They didn't want really naivety at the moment in that back line. They're in a position where they're looking to stabilise performances at Liverpool and actually start getting regular wins.
I wonder, Paul, did Sir Alex Ferguson ever have to give you much of a team talk for a game like this? Is a lot of the work done in the fact that the players will just know the significance of a game against Liverpool?
There was always a team talk just about what the game meant, really. It means so much to so many people, this game.
Forward by Bruno Fernandes through the middle. Too long for Pogba, and Alisson collects on the edge of his 18-yard box. The Liverpool goalkeeper entirely untroubled. So too, though, so far, David De Gea. We haven't had a shot on target yet in the game. Half an hour gone and it's 0-0. Bruno Fernandes space to turn inside the centre circle. Was he fouled by Fabinho? Just coming across Bruno Fernandes and catching his face. Yes, he was. And Fabinho almost smiling ironically there. I think the referee is just going to have a word with him. It's certainly a free kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, he's tried to get across him, and yeah, it's a foul, but I don't know what the referee's going to talk about. I mean, I don't know really what Bruno Fernandes. He's just been caught. He's just been caught by just by an arm just on his ear. It wasn't a slap or anything. It's just brushed on him, and he is making a little bit out of it.
Plenty forward again for Manchester United, including Harry Maguire. Liverpool with a very high defensive line, 5-6 yards forward of the edge of the box. It's floated up to the edge of the penalty area by Shaw. Maguire peels away at the far post. He chested it down, a little slow to react, Mane got there, and was it handball by Maguire? I think it was. Free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, well, he got there, Maguire. He's gone offside anyway, but he's actually got to the ball, and he needed to go and attack it. He's waited and waited, and it's actually hits him on the top of the arm. He's offside. Then the ball comes across, hits him on the top of the arm because he was too slow to react to go and get it. So it was a bad 3 seconds there for Harry Maguire. In the opponent's box.
Still a little unconvinced by him, Paul, just generally as a top central defender?
Yeah, I am really, to be perfectly honest.
As Jordan Henderson plays a little 1-2 with Addison on the edge of the Liverpool box, and a pass rolled infield by Robertson from the left back position. Manchester United win it back high up the pitch again though, and Luke Shaw darting to the edge of the area, surely fouled. Free kick, says Paul Tierney. Very dangerous position this, just left of centre, a little over 25 yards from goal, and a yellow card for Xherdan Shaqiri. 0-0.
Yeah, he just gets onto the ball, Luke Shaw. He couldn't do anything else to keep going what's in front of him, and he gets Shaqiri's running in behind him, and he just actually I don't really see, I can't see from an angle to contact, but all he was trying to do was to get back, but he's running virtually directly behind him, so anything that's actually, when a leg flicks back, there's every chance you're going to catch it, and he catches it. But I think the ref could have seen that there was no intent. He didn't stick out the leg trying to catch him to trip him up. I don't know why he's gone and given him the yellow card.
Well, this free kick is 2-3 yards from the edge of the D, and Bruno Fernandes at the cop end is the man over the ball for Manchester United. With 33 minutes gone, Alisson all in bright green, just adjusting the position of his wall, hasn't been seriously tested as yet. The score is still 0-0, but it will be the right boot of Bruno Fernandes, and it's just wide of goal. It had Addison sprawling to his right-hand side. I was sure it was going to end up in the back of the net, but it flashed just a foot or so wide.
It did initially look close, really close, when I saw the first one, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing the replays and you can just see it fade away. I think Alisson just was making 100% sure that it was going to go that way, but it was definitely further away than I initially thought it was.
Now then, Salah is away down the left-hand side for Liverpool. It's 0-0, up to the edge of the penalty area. Salah gets past Maguire, and he sets up Firmino, and the shot is tame, and it's straight at David De Gea.
Yes, and again, Salah's had his first real run. He pins Harry Maguire down 1-against-1. Lindelof is caught out wide, and Harry Maguire just about slows him down. He goes inside Salah, and Firmino has picked up on a little bobble off one of the United players, and he scuffs it with his left foot when he was centre of goal.
So the champion's frustrated so far, and Rashford is clear on goal at the other end. He's got Martial square, Rashford at a very tight angle. He's been forced back to the dead ball line, but he lays it into the path of Pogba, into the penalty area. Pogba's touch was heavy, and Manchester United have wasted an opportunity themselves.
It's that offside thing again, isn't it?
Pulling it back to the end of the phase of play. It just doesn't make sense. I know we've talked about this before, Paul. It doesn't make sense, does it?
That carried on for so long. It's
a little bit farcical, really. And meanwhile, Shaw has got it back in the left-back position for Manchester United, but he's given it away sloppily to Alexander-Arnold. Early ball to the edge of the box, cut out by Lindelof. It's come back towards the Liverpool man Firmino, all in red. 10 minutes of the first half to go, plus stoppage time on Premier League Live. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Manchester United, you remember, haven't been beaten in the Premier League away from home since a defeat in this fixture last season. Steered infield by Alexander-Arnold, just behind Shaqiri. McTominay there to the second ball for Manchester United. We've only had a single effort on target in the game so far, and that was the effort from Firmino that was an easy save for David De Gea. Now Paul Pogba putting it through to Marcus Rashford. Too long. Alisson will collect.
Well, that was Henderson showing that little bit of naivety playing as a centre-half. He's gone for a ball in midfield he should never have gone for, and he got away with it in the end because the ball was too strong for Rashford to run onto, because the centre-half had come out of the position he should have been in.
Manchester United haven't won here at Anfield in 5 competitive fixtures. They've only scored 1 goal in that time as well. But here's Anthony Martial, infield from the left-hand side, trying to squeeze through 3 in red. No way past the towering figure of Fabinho. Robust but fair challenge. And Liverpool have got it back on the halfway line.
Another poor decision there by Martial. He's tried to run through 3 Liverpool players. they're getting the ball in. When they do get the ball in there, they have to treat it with a little bit more respect of football and try and keep it.
Robertson out on the near side, the left, finds Salah, dead ball line. Can he cut it back to a teammate? He's got plenty of Manchester United defenders to contend with right in front of him, and Salah in the end has to knock it back towards halfway. And here's Fabinho in the centre circle. Everybody bar Alisson in the Manchester United half. Manchester United have been content to sit and hit Liverpool on the counter. It's still 0-0. Mane, though, through for Wijnaldum, edge of the penalty area, trying to play it back to Sadio Mane. Intercepted by Paul Pogba, and Manchester United will clear once more.
I just think they've done well, United, in certain way, the way they defended. I just think the front three can do a lot more for the players in behind them, and just keep the ball better and try and make better decisions when they get into that final third. We've just seen them overrunning it, not getting their head up, not trying to keep. Well, you want them to keep possession of it. If it isn't going to work out, they haven't done that. They've just kept running into cul-de-sacs every single time.
Manchester United, their last win here back in January 2016. Exactly, in fact, 5 years to the day. Wayne Rooney with a late winner. The referee has stopped the game again here, Paul Tierney. It's a free kick to Liverpool on the halfway line, 38th minute. At TalkSport Live on Twitter, if you would like to get in touch. We've got so many tweets coming in. Thanks for all of those. Edwin listening from Nigeria, wanting a Liverpool win. He's a Chelsea fan, and he wants Liverpool to beat Manchester United today. And Joe listening in Indiana and waiting for the Manchester City game to come. That'll be live with us with Tom Rennie and David Connolly. Here is Salah, edge of the penalty area for Liverpool. Back to Thiago, floats it high through the middle towards Salah again. Towering header away by Maguire for Manchester United. No way through the United back line for Liverpool so far, and Pogba will play it high and long towards Rashford. He's got to be offside. Alisson read it really well. Got to the edge of his penalty area to clear, and then the referee
blows it,
gives the free kick and pulls the play back.
Well, Alisson comes out and he was about to lay the pass off and keep it going. Oh, I tell you what, though.
And he's actually not offside at all, Rashford.
No, he's not.
We've got monitors in our commentary position, and Alisson did really well. And then, yes, bizarrely, the referee, as is customary these days, pulls the play back. Salah back to goal, 25 yards out, finds Wijnaldum, the Liverpool number 5. Salah up to the edge of the D. There was a little gap between McTominay and the Manchester United back line. Shaw with a half-slide tackle, and, well, I can only think that Mane was late on Shaw, because the referee has given Manchester United a free kick. It's quite stop-start at the moment, Paul Parker.
It is. I mean, I'm really not understanding what's going on here. Just there's no great flow, and I just don't know what's happened. Both of them went for the ball. I don't know. It just seems like any kind of contact now, the game just stops.
Well, it's a fixture, isn't it, that is combustible at the best of times, albeit we haven't had a red card in 12 competitive meetings between the two sides. If you're a referee, I suppose you've got to either lay the law down really early, as Rashford is put down the middle by Wan-Bissaka into the penalty area, angles tight, Rashford plays it right across the face of goal, nobody's there, and then up goes the flag, and then there's the whistle from the referee. I just do not get it. If he's offside, as we watch the replay again, Wan-Bissaka through. I mean, he's miles offside, Paul Parker.
I know.
Just stop the game there and then.
Yeah, I know. It's just ridiculous. You're seeing Jordan Henderson is running back, kind of going, I shouldn't be doing this. He's looking across at the assistant referee saying, please, and now he's talking to the referee about it. The players are starting to get fed up with it now. They are seriously getting fed up with it.
It just slows the game down and takes the momentum away completely, doesn't it?
I think it might just be better off taking away the assistant referees and just having it run from the broom cupboard at Stockley Park. Just let them just do it. That's the way they're going. They're virtually taking away the job of assistant referee.
Yeah.
If you're assistant referee at the moment, you want a longer contract just to cover you, just before they get rid of you.
It's still 0-0. 41st minute, floated from left to right by Robertson. Header infield by Shaw, that was risky, and then Maguire with his knee nudging it back to David De Gea, who clips the clearance high and long and up to the halfway line. Liverpool's momentum has been stilted somewhat. Shaqiri with a loose pass, Fabinho having to shrug aside Bruno Fernandes, the Manchester United star of the moment. And here is Robertson just inside opposition territory, square to Wijnaldum. Manchester City against Crystal Palace to come with us, 7:15 UK time, if you can join us for that one. Your thoughts on the game always appreciated at TalkSport Live on Twitter. Thiago wide to the near side, and Robertson back in field to Thiago again, 30 yards out, central position, no way past the slide tackle of Fred. Manchester United with plenty of men back behind the ball when they don't have it, and Pogba sandwiched in between two red shirts. Henderson and Thiago gets himself a free kick on the halfway line.
Yeah, that's a good respite for Manchester United at the moment. They just need to get to half-time at 0-0, and I think Ollie's got to sort something out and trying to make a more of an attacking force, because they're still winnable, this game. At the moment, they're puffing and puffing Liverpool, but they haven't. You can't exactly say they've dominated that much, because David De Gea hasn't had anything to throw his arms at yet.
Nothing at all. Just that single, very tame effort from Firmino, which barely have registered as a shot on target. Addison has been unemployed effectively as well. And Manchester United, who know that if they get themselves a point here, would remain 3 points in front ahead of the champions, their greatest rivals. Pogba near side the right, plays it in low towards the edge of the box. Martial nearly got there, great covering by Thiago. And now can Liverpool break on the counter-attack? It's something they haven't really been able to do at all so far in the game. Forward by Alexander-Arnold through the middle, cut out by Victor Lindelof, and the ball's back on the halfway line. And Liverpool have just lost a couple of yards of pace, haven't they, since the opening 15 minutes or so, Paul, which was pretty frenetic, and Manchester United having to hang on in there, but they weathered the storm, and now it looks increasingly difficult for Liverpool here to pass and probe their way through, and frustration levels will grow. And Liverpool are having a difficult time of it of late, of course, without a win in 3 in the Premier League. Bruno Fernandes, lip of the centre circle, good ball downfield on the diagonal to Rashford. Rashford in the left wing position, checks back away from Fabinho, plays it back to Martial, who's 5 yards from the corner flag. Last 90 seconds of the first half, plus stoppage time, still 0-0, and Lindelof will play it square to Maguire on halfway. And Manchester United content not to force the issue here. A long ball by Lindelof, just as I say that.
Lindelof had that moment when he takes the ball inside his left foot, couldn't see anything, so he just hoofs it straight to Alisson.
Yeah, forcing the issue.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work for him. Jurgen Klopp with his red and white LFC cap, standing on the near side touchline. And what will he be thinking at the moment, Paul Parker? Liverpool have got to be more creative and show more ingenuity in the final third, but it's not easy against a side that is as well organised today as Manchester United.
Yeah, they have struggled in recent games to break teams down, and they're not finding that easy to create opportunities to score goals as well. So he'll be a little bit frustrated. So even he'll be demanding a little bit more from them. You'll be asking about the front three. Without a doubt, they haven't had enough. Can't take anything away from Manchester United. The two full-backs have definitely stopped, though, have helped with the two wide players for Liverpool, and I just think the people in front of them as well have stopped the likes of Robertson and, have to say, Alexander-Arnold going forward as well.
Into first half stoppage time and a single added minutes. Mane's offside, left-hand edge of the area. A free kick to Manchester United, and that might be that as far as the first period is concerned. Remember earlier on in the Premier League today, Spurs 3-1 winners at Sheffield United, including a goal of the season contender, surely the goal of the season so far from Tanguy and Ndombele. And later on, Manchester City play Crystal Palace with Tom Reddy and David Connolly. Monday night football, Arsenal against Newcastle. Hope you can join us for that. And David De Gea, all in bright yellow, untested seriously as yet. High downfield, header away by Fabinho, little cushioned nudge on the ball by Shaqiri, gets it back from Salah, floated through the middle to Mane, who would have been clear on goal, but the half-time whistle had already blown, and so far so good for Manchester United as they keep the champions at bay. A familiar story for Liverpool, a low block set up in front of them, and they haven't been able to carve out any clear-cut opportunities so far. In fact, the closest that either side came was when Bruno Fernandes curled a free kick just wide of Alisson's right-hand post from 25 yards out. David De Gea has not had a meaningful save to make as yet. At the break in the 171st top-flight meeting between the two sides, it is Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Half-time and analysis to come. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport.
Talk Sport. Impress Lost Tribes people of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated TalkSport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at talksport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on Talk Sport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, text, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Talk Sport. Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to talksport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new Talk Sport swimming pool. Golf! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Doug, a sporting legend and an angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on Talk Sport.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on Sport. Talk Sport. It's the double-O duo of the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksbee and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got pussy galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksbee and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Talk Sport. Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from talksport.com. Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder. TalkSport.
Thanks for your company. You are listening to Premier League Live with me, your host, Joe Shannon, and the former Manchester United defender, Paul Parker. Stalemate in this much-anticipated clash at Anfield. This top-of-the-table clash between two great rivals. At the break, it is Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Liverpool come forward again. Shaqiri, great ball to Mane, inside the penalty area, lays it back to Firmino, who strikes it wide, first time left-footed. It's the best chance of the game so far, and Roberto Firmino has spurned it, and it's still goalless in the Premier League at Anfield.
Robertson has made another late burst, and he could have just rolled it to him, and he didn't. He's shooting when he's off balance, off his weaker foot. The pass to the left would have been the better decision.
It will be the right boot of Bruno Fernandes, and it's just wide of goal. It had Alisson sprawling to his right-hand side. I was sure it was going to end up in the back of the net, but it flashed just a foot or so wide.
It did initially look close, really close, when I saw the first one, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing the replays and you can just see it fade away. I think Alisson just was making 100% sure that it was going to go that way, but it was definitely further away than I initially thought it was.
Okay, so 0-0 at Anfield at half-time. Second half commentary to come shortly, of course. Paul Parker with me. Paul, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be the happier manager?
I would think so, yes. Just by the way his team has defended, like I said on numerous occasions, his goalkeeper hasn't had to work hard. He expected Liverpool to have the ball. May not like the fact of they're getting to the edge of the box a little bit too easy, and all it needs is just someone to switch off, or someone just to maybe just be in the way of a shot and block a shot. Deflections, anything could happen at the moment. They're getting far too close to that box, but in general, in the defensive wise, you'll be very pleased. I think you'll be disappointed in the way when they have got possession in the middle of the pitch that they haven't done better with the ball. And we've seen on a few occasions they've been caught offside. Rashford's been caught offside. You'll be looking for more from Martial at this moment in time as well. As a forward team going forward, I should say, Manchester United have been disappointing, but to still be in the game, they'll be very happy.
Just give us a sense of how frustrating it will be for those Liverpool players when you come up against a side that is defending deep and that is defending in numbers, often on the edge of their own 18-yard box. How difficult is it to break that sort of low block down?
It is very, very difficult, as you're finding out now. Teams are doing that. They're sitting that little bit deeper. They're making it more and more difficult for sides with players like Liverpool have got, the Manes and the Salahs, who want to run in behind. That sitting deep makes it difficult for them. But now they have to think of different ways to break that line. And Liverpool at the moment are just trying to find their way. They are the champions. They're the team that everyone wants to beat. Everyone else around wants to win the league. Everyone wants to stop Liverpool going back to back. So it's what you have to accept and treat it as a little bit of respect. That's what it is at this moment in time. Teams are respecting you as champions, and they're making this job a little bit more difficult for you than what it was the last time you won it.
And probably the best chance in the game so far went to Manchester United and Bruno Fernandes with the free kick that flashed just wide from 25 or so yards out. Do they want to see him get on the ball a little bit more? He's been quite peripheral in open play, hasn't he, so far?
Yeah, he hasn't been in and around it. They haven't got the ball to him. That's the thing. Liverpool are making it difficult for Fernandes to get on the ball. But when he has gotten it, you think that something's going to happen, because he's always looking for that pass. And there's always that one when Liverpool have got the ball and Fernandes gets on it. They've had it for so long and you're counter-attacking. There's space behind, and especially when you're talking about two makeshift centre-halves as well. We've already seen Henderson show his inexperience by going to try and head a ball where a midfield player should have been going to head it. So he's been caught out. The ball did get him behind him, but Rashford was offside. So there is the opportunities to go and score a goal, to do a little bit of a hit and run, and doesn't matter how you go and do it. To win at Anfield, as a Manchester United team, you're going to accept anything to go and win a game now.
Okay, 0-0 at the break. Second half commentary to come. A reminder earlier, it finished Sheffield United 1, Tottenham 3. Still to come on Premier League Live. We've got full commentary and coverage of Manchester City against Crystal Palace. Palace, who are undefeated in their past 2 league visits to the Etihad. Pep Guardiola knows it'll always be tough against the side from South London.
You have to be patient, at the same time give a rhythm, but they are so clever. They defend well. Yesterday we saw it against Arsenal. That can produce a lot of game and quality up front, and they were able to control as much part of the game. So it's a real tough. It was a real tough the last seasons here when we lost and we draw. And but yeah, we try to convince the players to do our job and win the game.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola there. Crystal Palace have made it tough for them at the Etihad in recent times, but Manchester City on a 14-match unbeaten run in all competitions. They've won their last 7, and they are slowly climbing towards the top of the Premier League table. Potentially Manchester City today, if they were to win and Manchester United were to lose, it would be just a single point off the top of the Premier League table. Paul Parker, very briefly ahead of the second half at Anfield. If you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, do you stick or do you twist? That's the dilemma, isn't it? The longer the game goes on, and if it stays 0-0, he might feel they can win it.
Yeah, he might feel it. I think he won't be forced into making changes unless he has to. If he has to maybe chase the game, but while it's 0-0, he's not really going to want to try and tweak it to try and chase the game. If anything, he'll try and reinforce the fact that they're still in the game, and he'll stick with what he's got. So I would say United are content. They want that little bit more in that final third, but you know, Ollie will be definitely the happier boss.
Okay, goalless at the break. It is Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Remember, the side separated by just 3 points at the start of the day. As things stand, Manchester United keeping themselves clear of the chasing pack at the top of the Premier League table. Remember, a Liverpool win, though, at Anfield would see the two sides swap places in the top flight. Liverpool would go to the top of the table. Second half commentary to come from Anfield. You are listening to Premier League Live.
TalkSport.
Impress lost tribespeople of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated TalkSport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at TalkSport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, text, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to TalkSport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new TalkSport swimming pool. Goff! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Durham, a sporting legend and an angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on TalkSport.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on sport. TalkSport. It's the double O duo of the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksbee and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got pussy galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksbee and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com. Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder. TalkSport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against Manchester United from Anfield. I'm your host, Joe Shannon. Alongside me is the former Manchester United and England defender, Paul Parker, and this is Premier League Live. Second half about to get underway at Anfield, where it's Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0 in this huge game at the top of the table. Liverpool frustrated so far by a resolute Manchester United back line, and the visitors went closest in the first half when Bruno Fernandes curled a free kick just wide from 25 yards out. Dark skies overhead now in Liverpool, the lights of the city in the distance and the huge floodlights on here at the home of the Premier League champions. Swathes of empty red seats everywhere you look, that cavernous massive main stand at the bottom of which is a tunnel where the two sets of players have emerged for the second half. It doesn't look like any changes at the break for either team, at least not initially. What's the message, though, do you think, Paul Parker, from Jurgen Klopp to his players at the break?
I just think they've got to show a little bit more of an appetite in the final third. He'd be asking about his, those two wide players of his, the ones who got Liverpool to what they were looking for after 30 years was a Premier League title. They just haven't really been in a picture prior to this game and in this game. They just haven't been the same players of what everyone was seeing last season. You're not seeing that change of pace, you're not seeing that excitement, you're not seeing that buzz. And at the moment, you have to say is that Luke Shaw's done a great job with Salah. He's kept himself correct, he stayed on his feet, he hasn't dived in, he's been in areas where Salah can't run into, so he's blocking runs, for areas for Salah to run into. So I have to say that Liverpool at the moment have been disappointing. Jurgen Klopp would want more in the final third, without a doubt. He's brought Thiago in to help him in the attacking areas, so he needs him as well to help with that situation.
The second half is underway. Ball floated forward by Alexander-Arnold. Easy take for David De Gea inside the 6-yard box. Liverpool all in red, playing from left to right towards the famous Kop end at Anfield, that single-tiered stand behind the goal. Manchester United in their dark grey shirts and shorts with white socks, playing from right to left towards the Anfield Road end, where the away supporters are usually housed. Little burst from Robertson down the left-hand side, clearance away by Lindelof into touch, and it's a throw to Liverpool out on their left, the far side of the field. Addison, the Liverpool goalkeeper, Alexander-Arnold, Henderson, Fabinho and Robertson, Thiago, Wijnaldum and Shaqiri, Salah, Firmino and Mane, De Gea in goal for Manchester United, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw, McTominay and Fred, Rashford, Pogba, Bruno Fernandes and Anthony Martial. Liverpool have won it back high up the field with Firmino, 30 yards from goal. That's a poor ball wide though to Mane, not enough on it, cut out by Wan-Bissaka, and the ball back on the halfway line with Thiago. It's 0-0 and we're a minute and 15 seconds into the second half. Liverpool with their extraordinary home record. Manchester United have been super away from home, not just this season in the Premier League, but dating back towards, well, really the last time that they played here in the top flight, beaten by 2-0 almost a year to the day. Headed away by Harry Maguire from the edge of the penalty box. Little flick by Fred. One back by Thiago with ease. And now Henderson at the left edge of the centre circle. Square to Andy Robertson. Henderson again deputising at centre half, with Joel Matip still not fit enough to make the Liverpool squad. And Alexander-Arnold on the halfway line. Little one-touch pass from Thiago to set up Shaqiri. The Swiss starting forward finds Firmino edge of the box. Shaqiri, corner of the penalty area. Wide to the near side, and Salah in front of the Kop end, where there are huge banners draped on top of the red seats. Salah takes it away from Alexander-Arnold, looks to cut in field from the left, square to Shaqiri, tries to thread it through back to Salah. Salah, the angle's tight, hooks it over his shoulder, high to Mane with the header at the far post. It's blocked by Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United can't fully clear. In the end, it's nudged downfield by McTominay, but Fred gives it away. And Liverpool on the attack at the start of the second half as they seek the opening goal.
Have to say, a little bit of normal service resumed at the moment with Liverpool attacking. In the sense of United at the moment, a little bit last ditch in what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Almost a mirror image of the start of the first period. Liverpool pinning Manchester United back deep inside their own half, but David De Gea remains untested. And Manchester United, who haven't got a great record in games against other established top 6 teams, if you like, so far this season, but here's Salah in the penalty area for Liverpool. Maguire gets a foot in, good defending from the Manchester United number 5, and then he goes down.
Oh my God.
Oh. You can't believe it, he's gone down like... there was no contact whatsoever.
He actually stopped. He virtually was walking, and as he's walking, he's leaning further and further forward until his nose was scraping the grass to get a foul. It's embarrassing. The assistant referee has not seen that, what he's done there. Salah was just bemused, wasn't he? Incredible.
Believe it. And neither could Paul Parker.
Just wondering what's happening to football at the moment. Players are doing that.
Prodded forward high by Pogba, headed away by Alexander-Arnold. Pogba, great header cross field to Bruno Fernandes, into the penalty area now for Martial. Martial at a tight angle, pulls it back, intercepted by Henderson, who showed good composure and control. That's a lovely flighted pass through the middle, aimed at Sadio Mane, who gets there in front of the defender, nudges it wide with his head towards Salah. Salah is in the penalty box, but at an angle, and he's got Shaw in front of him, and Manchester United have got plenty back behind the ball. It's 0-0, 4.5 minutes into the second half. Robertson, corner of the box, sets up Firmino back to the edge of the area, little touch from Thiago, smuggled away by McTominay to find Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes has given it away. Manchester United a little sloppy at the start of the second half. Thiago up to the edge of the box, sets up Mane. Mane left-hand edge of the penalty area. So little space for Liverpool to try and carve out a clear-cut chance here. As Robertson, again on that far side, the left wing. Mane, infield to Firmino. Lovely back heel to Mane, who's into the penalty area, pulls it back. McTominay there, blocks it with his shins. Liverpool corner at the Kop end, 0-0.
That's the first time Mane has done anything like that, and Wan-Bissaka nearly could have given away a penalty because he's made a challenge from behind, but Mane's kept going.
The corner was taken quickly. Liverpool have gone back to the midway point of the Manchester United half, and now Fabinho a little further forward. Back it goes to Thiago, that midfield metronome wearing number 6. Salah corner the 18-yard box, tries a 1-2 with Shaqiri. Shaw gets a foot in. Another Liverpool corner. You can almost imagine the roar of the Anfield crowd where they in tonight, and Liverpool need to find some inspiration from somewhere.
They certainly need that little bit just in that final third. They're getting there. They are getting there. They just still haven't worked David De Gea at this moment in time. Just seen a replay of the Wan-Bissaka one. Very fortunate.
Yeah, Mane, had he been caught, it would have been a spot kick. And David De Gea, all in bright yellow, as Paul said, has not had a meaningful save to make. Alexander-Arnold, led with the edge of the 18-yard box. Tried to roll the pass, squeeze it infield to Henderson. It's cleared by Bruno Fernandes, who was surely caught late, and Paul Tierney, having initially played the advantage, does give Manchester United the free kick. They've got some breathing space, and 6 minutes into the second half, the league leaders still level at the home of the champions, 0-0.
They certainly are, but I think we have to look at it, the team that's out. When you're starting with McTominay and Fred, you virtually are saying, we want nothing to pass us. We're sitting in here, and you've got to break us down, because when you look at creativity, it isn't going to come from those two. It is going to be Bruno Fernandes. You're hoping that Pogba could maybe have a moment, but you don't want to be reliant on Pogba. But Fernandes is having little patches. Just haven't been doing nothing sustained at this moment in time, Manchester United.
Here's Rashford though, middle of the Liverpool half, looks left to the near side. Bruno Fernandes into the penalty area, goes on the outside of Alexander-Arnold onto his weaker left foot, and the Liverpool defender does well to win the ball off Bruno Fernandes, and in the end he's almost dragged it out of play. Manchester United throw 5 yards from the corner flag.
Fernandes was waiting for Trent Alexander to Alexander-Arnold to actually make a challenge. He doesn't do that. That's why he was able to nick it off him so easy.
Great tackle by Thiago on Rashford on the edge of the penalty area. Good feet by Firmino to win the ball and then whip it up to Salah. And Liverpool get the free kick for a foul earlier on in the build-up. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Michael Carrick just exchanging words on the near side touchline. Wrapped up warm, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Cold late afternoon at Anfield with the floodlights on. And it's 0-0, and it's anybody's game this potentially. Pogba for Manchester United, wearing gloves, right-hand side, floating it cross-field. Martial's in space. Martial in the penalty area. Sets up Bruno Fernandes. Good block on the side by Fabinho. And it's out of play for a Manchester United corner.
Yeah, if they were to concede there, Liverpool, that would have been awful. Defending was poor, but Fabinho makes up for it. He comes across and he blocks at the near post, with Fernandes having a shot with his left foot.
Manchester United, remember, without a win at Anfield since 2016, 5 years to the day, when they won 1-0 here in the Premier League, courtesy of Wayne Rooney's winner. And that their only win in the last 10 against Liverpool in all competitions. As the corner kick is swung in by Bruno Fernandes, hooked away by Thiago, and now Liverpool can counter-attack maybe here. Alexander-Arnold prods it over the halfway line. Salah in a foot race with Shaw, and Salah's got the better of him into the penalty area, but his first touch was heavy, and it's gone through to David De Gea.
Yeah, it was heavy, his first touch, very unlike him as well, but Liverpool counter-attack, there was a lot of pace going there, Mane and Salah.
Game is stretched for the first time, really. Pogba, edge of the D, tries to play it through to Bruno Fernandes. It was a difficult ball from right to left into the 18-yard box. Wijnaldum with the interception. It's still 0-0, and really still yet to see the goalkeeper make a decent save.
I'm just thinking about what United are going to do if they're going to maybe improve on where they are at this moment in time. And I would think about Cavani maybe coming on through the middle. At least you're going to get someone who can hold the ball so other players can join in, because every time it goes into one of Martial or Rashford is virtually coming straight back. Cavani would be that little bit cleverer with the ball.
Well, Cavani, Greenwood, Mata, Van der Beek among the Manchester United subs. Shaqiri for Liverpool, 5 yards from the corner flag, plays it back to Salah on the edge of the box. Salah looks for Firmino with his back turned, back towards the goal. He has to prod it wide to the left-hand side, and Alexander-Arnold, who looks up, goes for goal right-footed, and that's easy, straight at De Gea.
Yeah, that was very, very easy. There wasn't much conviction there from Alexander-Arnold when he took that shot. I thought he would have been better. He would have tried to whip it and put lots of pace on it to make De Gea make a save, some kind of save. There's a lot of Liverpool players in that box as well who might have been able to pick up the pieces.
10 minutes into the second half, and it's 0-0. Liverpool winless in 3 in the Premier League, remember, coming in 2 today, as Wan-Bissaka surges over the halfway line for Manchester United, down the right, plays it back to Pogba. Rashford just making a run up to the edge of the penalty area, but Pogba elects to go back to McTominay, who goes crossfield to the halfway line, and Harry Maguire. Just sense the confidence growing among the Manchester United ranks, the team in dark grey with the white socks. Shaw on this near side looks for Martial, the number 9, wearing gloves, and now Fred, golden boots, middle of midfield to the centre circle, and Lindelof. Harry Maguire will play it back to Wan-Bissaka just inside his own territory. Liverpool beaten by Southampton last time out in the Premier League. They haven't lost consecutive Premier League fixtures since August to September 2015. It's a terrific run in that context, and Jurgen Klopp hasn't lost successive league games as a manager since April 2015 when he was in charge at Borussia Dortmund. Henderson, midway inside his own half for Liverpool as they try to seek the breakthrough, but it's all a bit leaden-footed and one pace. They really do miss the Anfield crowd on an afternoon like this, you feel. And Salah with his back to goal will be heading to Manchester, not far from here, for a live commentary of the final game of the Premier League today. Manchester City against Crystal Palace on Premier League Live. Arsenal Newcastle on Monday night. Thiago floats the ball down the left, brought down by Robertson, but his first touch wasn't great, forced into the corner flag by McTominay. Now, is that a corner to Liverpool? No, it's a goal kick to Manchester United.
I don't know about that one. He got taken over with the ball there in McTominay's challenge. I don't know if it was a corner or a goal kick.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be delighted though, won't he, Paul Parker, as we tick towards the hour mark, because Liverpool have not had a meaningful chance.
No, he has to be positive at this moment in time and what he's thinking about the way it's going. But it's just that it's moments like that when you just straight away give the ball away. Fred just puts the ball in behind and he just gives the ball away. So Liverpool start coming forward again, and they seem to cut through far too easy. They've got to try and win the ball further up the field, Manchester United, to bring it on to the front two, to ask them then, what are you going to deliver us at this moment? But because it's so far back, and they're starting so deep, the players, it's very difficult for them to maybe even look like they're going to score a goal.
Keith's listening to us from Miami on TalkSport Live, at TalkSport Live on Twitter. If you'd like to get in touch, doesn't look a bad day by the beach. As we tick towards the hour mark here, Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. And it's been a rather flat few minutes in this second half. Liverpool frustrated so far. Thiago on the halfway line, plays it out to the left, and Robertson at the base of the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand. Rashford putting the pressure on Alisson, the green-clad goalkeeper. Alisson steers it upfield, not the best ball, won by Wijnaldum. McTominay, though, couldn't reach the second ball. It looked like handball by Wijnaldum in the first instance, but Alexander-Arnold goes cross-field, out to the left. That's a lovely ball for Robertson. Robertson's delivery, Firmino, far post, and Harry Maguire did just enough. I think the last touch was off Liverpool's number 9, and it's gone behind, and Harry Maguire can take credit for a good bit of defending there.
Well, that's the first time we've seen the fullbacks get involved, and actually for the first time they passed from one side of the field to the other, and it was a lovely ball in by Robertson. Harry Maguire's had to change his position. He's quite fortunate in a way because he didn't really know where Firmino was when that ball was actually struck by Robertson, but in the end, facing his own goal, he stuck his foot up and he's got a good blocking.
And so it is still goalless, and Manchester United readying Edinson Cavani. Stripped and ready to go, all in dark grey. Rashford down the right-hand side. Henderson beats him to the loose ball and sends it back to Alisson, who's clipped it high out to the left, and Andy Robertson. And if there's one thing that Manchester United have lacked today so far, I think certainly a focal point in attack is the answer to that question, Paul.
Oh, without a doubt. I think a lot of people are saying that they want to see Cavani play more games. They want him to be given a run, but Ollie doesn't seem to want to do it. He keeps going with Martial and Rashford, and to be perfectly honest, both of them have disappointed in recent games, and they've definitely disappointed today.
And defensively robust and very well organised, Manchester United, but they haven't really so far been a threat on the counter. Neither side has been a threat really going forward. Henderson through the middle, looking to pop it down towards Firmino. Ball takes a bounce in the penalty area, and foul by Firmino on Maguire. Body check, and the referee looks to the near side touchline, and the change, and not a particular surprise. Paul Parker, Anthony Martial the man off, and here comes Edinson Cavani.
That's right. It's no surprise at all that Martial's coming off for Cavani. He always comes off. You don't know if he's happy, miserable. You don't know what's going on in there, but he just hasn't contributed anything really. Neither of them have, but Rashford's the one who's been given the vote of confidence out of the two of them to stand longer. He might get more involved now because Cavani adds more threat. If you're one of those two Liverpool centre-halves and you're there as a centre-half but you're not a centre-half, he'll definitely threaten those two more, a little bit more than what Martial has, or did, I should say.
Absolutely. And Cavani wearing the famous Manchester United number 7. Dark hair, slick back. Liverpool have had 67% of the ball in the game, but they haven't really created much with it yet. Here's Firmino, though, corner of the penalty area, and now Salah by the centre spot. Oh, he's drilled it wide. Salah took a deflection on its way through from the penalty spot. He managed to get an effort in on goal, surrounded by a cluster of Manchester United players. Deflected offshore, and it's gone behind for a Liverpool corner.
Yeah, and it's come off I don't know who it was, maybe Scott McTominay, but that started from Luke Shaw being caught in possession and tried to dribble his way out, and then he's just in the end just hit and hope, but he gives it straight to Liverpool and they nearly score from it.
Yeah, Harry Maguire it was who got the block in. Shaqiri's in-swinging delivery right across the face of goal, and the last touch was off a Manchester United man as McTominay appealed for a goal kick. Liverpool win their 6th corner in front of the Kop.
Yeah, that was you don't often see Liverpool do that, to go to the near post, and it was a touch off of Scott McTominay. He could have teed up a Liverpool player. You could just see his face after he's headed it, kind of go, oh no.
Are we about to see the breakthrough? What relief it would be for everybody involved at Liverpool, as the delivery from Alexander-Arnold is headed away by McTominay at the near post. It'll drop down to Salah, who reverts back to the halfway line. Robertson, nobody in dark grey anywhere near him. Crossfield, lovely ball plucked out of the air by Salah. Back in field to Henderson. First time cross. Mane far post, away by the combination of Shaw and Lindelof. It comes out to Shaqiri. He lofts it high just to the right of centre. Salah tries to hook it back across goal. Cavani there with an acrobatic clearance. And Rashford now in the Manchester United left back position will tee it up for Fred in field. Fred lets it run across his body, gets away from Thiago, and now Manchester United on the counter attack. Bruno Fernandes tried to go to the left. That was a good touch by Wijnaldum, crucial interception, and Liverpool clear over the halfway line. 0-0.
Yeah, so it's those little moments just when United and Bruno Fernandes gets on the ball and just thinks of, just needs that little bit, just to get that little bit extra to get in behind them. And again, on 2 or 3 occasions so far in this game, it's been the leg of Henderson, it's been Fabinho that have read the passing in, or had good fortune because they got their leg there. Otherwise they were going through United 1 against 1.
Remember the last meeting between the two sides here, almost a year to the day. Wan-Bissaka for Manchester United, middle of the Liverpool half, tries to wriggle away from both Thiago and Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum all in red, gets the foot in initially, but Wan-Bissaka shows great determination to find Cavani. Back to goal, robbed by Henderson this time. No way through for either side. Thiago's lost the ball though. Bruno Fernandes, edge of the D, shoots right-footed, and good handling by Alisson because the ball spat at him off the turf, edge of the 6-yard box, and the goalkeeper clutched it into his chest.
Yeah, Liverpool for the first time really have let themselves down there in that defending. first of all, Thiago gets caught in possession, and then they end up giving it away. And as that ball come in from Fernandes, as he's shot, it's actually moved a little bit to Alisson's right-hand side, so we have to slightly adjust to that as well.
Manchester United's first effort on target in the game. 20 minutes into the second half, and it remains goalless, but perhaps Cavani, with that physicality that he'll add to the attack, as the ball's floated through towards Bruno Fernandes. Alisson has cleared it. Not a great clearance, though. It's come back to Cavani, who's brought down 30 yards out. That's an obvious free kick, and Fabinho is surely going to get a yellow card. Indeed he is.
Yep, and again it was a lovely ball by Rashford as well into Fernandes, and Alisson wasn't comfortable. It wasn't his greatest clearance, and it was the chance in the end. I mean, first of all, Cavani was struggling to keep his feet, and all he needed was to touch from Fabinho to really make sure he wasn't going to keep his feet.
Well, at TalkSport Live on Twitter, Sam Robertson, listening from Aurora in Colorado, a Manchester City fan, wanting a draw today, though he says, my 12-year-old son wants his beloved Liverpool to win. It's very tight at the top of the Premier League. Manchester City, 14 unbeaten in all competitions, in action later against Crystal Palace. Manchester United free kick. It's maybe 6 yards from the edge of the deep ball, slightly left of centre. Marcus Rashford's over it alongside Bruno Fernandes.
I think Rashford's going to have it. He's going to want to try and do like a Ronaldo one and hit through the middle of the ball so it goes up and down.
Yeah, and he's placed the ball very deliberately here, Rashford, the number 10, 5-6 sharp strides back behind the ball, but Bruno Fernandes has done just the same. Keeping Alisson guessing here. 0-0, Rashford strikes it into the wall, rebounds out to the near side. Last quarter of the game. Here is Shaw. Shaw pings the ball high on the diagonal. Maguire had stayed forward. He's let it run for Pogba. Pogba gets to the dead ball line. Can he pull it back with two Liverpool players surrounding him? One of them is Sadio Mane. And Mane slides in to hack it clear. Manchester United throw. It really could go either way. Although you feel that neither team, Paul Parker, has done enough to win the game so far.
Yeah, I'd have to go with you on that one. If it ends up 0-0, you have to come out and really say it's a fair result.
Bruno Fernandes infield towards Cavani, smuggled away upfield by Fabinho. Shaqiri, first Premier League start, remember, for him since December 2019, has brought it down. And Salah back to the left-back position, and Robertson cross-field, left to right, out towards Shaqiri. First touch is an attempt at threading it down the right towards Salah. First time, good defending, good composure by Shaw to shrug aside Salah and find his goalkeeper, David De Gea. Pogba now. Back to goal, halfway line, sets up Wan-Bissaka, a little touch by Cavani, lofted high upfield. Pogba will try to bring it down under pressure from Henderson, but again Henderson nudges it back to his goalkeeper. Defence is on top at Anfield, and that's why it's still scoreless. Tim is listening to us from Wisconsin in the United States, a Leicester City fan, hoping for a draw today and in the game between Manchester City and Crystal Palace. That would keep Leicester in second place in the Premier League after their win over Southampton yesterday. Salah, bearded, wearing number 11, back to goal. Manchester United have got everybody back behind the ball here, and it's so difficult for Liverpool to break through, and it's a very familiar pattern for them, and something that Jurgen Klopp again will be frustrated about. The draw at home to West Bromwich Albion, the draw at Newcastle, defeat at Southampton, and being held here by Manchester United. It would be another game without a goal for Liverpool, almost unthinkable. As Manchester United through Pogba give it away. There might be space for Alexander-Arnold, 30 yards out, right of centre. Sets up Salah. Salah corner the penalty area onto his favoured left foot. Finds Shaqiri. Shaqiri rolls it square to Wijnaldum. And now Robertson. Robertson 5 yards from the corner of the box. Threads it into the penalty area for Mane. Mane, can he get away from Lindelof? He tees it up towards Firmino, but there was not enough on it. And De Gea gathers at his near post.
I just thought that goes into Mane, and he's there. He's got Lindelof behind him. He's waiting for Lindelof to do something rash. He's there hoping that he was going to get a penalty out of that.
Thiago's sliding in a little riskily on Cavani, and then Rashford. Free kick given to Manchester United. And 10 yards into Liverpool territory. Jurgen Klopp not happy about something.
I think it was that I don't know, he's asking why he's given a foul. Yes, he has slid, but he hasn't touched anybody. He actually got a slight touch on the ball as well.
Liverpool with the likes of Divock Origi and Takumi Minamino, Max Oxlade-Chamberlain and James Milner among their subs. Manchester United have sent Maguire forward for this free kick, which will be hoisted from this near side. Crossfield, it looks like, by Bruno Fernandes, who whips it down the left-hand channel. Nobody there in dark grey. Easy for Alisson.
Yeah, I think he's put his arm up there as well, admitting his mistake, but I've never seen him do it. Well, I saw it once, wasn't it? Was it Martial scored a goal, didn't he? Like that, off a free kick in that kind of area. He's made that near, just done a movement on that near post.
A ball on the middle of midfield for Manchester United, clattered downfield by Maguire, high and long. Alexander-Arnold with a dreadful header under nothing but token pressure from Rashford, straight out of play, and it's a Manchester United corner.
Yeah, you summed that up well there. It was a token pressure from Marcus Rashford. It seemed like he just kind of went, I'm not going to get this, and he didn't have to head it. He could have gone out for a goal kick, but he definitely, if he didn't, he would have let it bounce and he would have had time to turn, because Rashford was not fussed about getting there.
Well, Manchester United struck relatively late at Burnley in midweek. That win that took them to the top of the Premier League here. Maguire and Lindelof both forward for the corner in front of the Anfield Road end. It'll be whipped in by Bruno Fernandes, one arm up into the air. Here's the delivery up towards Pogba, far post. His header takes a bounce and goes straight at Alisson.
Yeah, good header, by the way. He's headed it down, perfect. Was just lacking. He was just too far away, didn't have any strength when it reached Alisson.
Liverpool on the counter. Mane, lung-busting run down the left-hand side. It's not a great ball towards Firmino, all too easily telegraphed, and Lindelof there to sweep it out of play for a Liverpool throw, led with the edge of the penalty area.
Just the problem there, Mane's made a great run. No one's really gone with him. And when he did get to the area around the box, and he was puffing a bit, he was looking for someone else to kind of join in with him and help him and make a run. No one done it. He had to virtually force Firmino to make that run.
Still just over 18 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Former Manchester United defender Paul Parker is with me. Here's Firmino, edge of the area, right foot, sets up Salah, back towards Firmino via deflection, but there was no way he was going to reach it realistically. It was fizzed at him, and Lindelof he had in close attention, and the ball again squeezes through to the Manchester United goalkeeper De Gea. Just not happening for either side in the final third.
No, I mean, United they haven't really been in the final third a lot, or kept possession in the final third to put to Liverpool two midfield players who are playing a centre half under any kind of pressure, while Liverpool have had the ball in there a lot. They've just lacked that bit at the end, really.
Well, David De Gea has had 2 efforts to save, yes, Paul, but they've been 2 of the easiest efforts that he'll save all season.
Well, his feet were still on the floor when he was saving them. Yeah, he hasn't had to jump off of one foot or pushed anything to the side, round the post or anything. There haven't been any difficulty at all for him at this moment in time.
Manchester United have come with a game plan. I think it's the one that we expected. And credit to them, Liverpool have not had the answers. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, hands in pockets. It would be a really significant result for him, you feel, as a manager, if he could come away with something here and keep Manchester United top of the league. Remember, the 2 sides meet in the FA Cup next weekend at Old Trafford. About this time next weekend, actually. Alisson hooking the ball cross-field for Liverpool out to the left, and Andy Robertson plays it back to the edge of his own penalty area, and Jordan Henderson, a busy midweek run of matches to come in the Premier League the week after this one. Thiago across to Fabinho, and Fabinho back to Alisson again. Long and up into the air, cushioned in field by Robertson to find Gini Wijnaldum. Robertson again hugging that left-hand touchline. I mean, is there a lack of confidence about Liverpool at the moment, Paul? They're certainly not coming forward at their swashbuckling best, because of course plenty of times in the last couple of seasons they've had teams set up a low block in front of them, but they've always usually been able to break through, particularly at Anfield.
Yeah, I mean, that was happening a lot last season. It's not happening for them this season. And when you mention West Brom and Newcastle...
Oh, here's Firmino with a little flick on the edge of the area. Couldn't find Salah, who'd made a run to the edge of the box and dealt with by Lindelof for Manchester United. Liverpool are going to bring on Curtis Jones in a few minutes' time. Fred, in the middle of his own half, back to Lindelof and across to Wan-Bissaka. It would surely take just a single goal to win the game for either team, if there is to be one. Liverpool all in red, and frustration so far for them. And here's Rashford for Manchester United. Cavani in the middle. Rashford goes it alone, sets up short his outside, drills it in low. Bruno Fernandes forces a great save from Alisson. That might have been the moment to win the match for Manchester United. And Alisson, who's not had a serious save to make, called into action there and was equal to it.
Yeah, and that's the first time United have attacked with any kind of desire at all. It was about Rashford pinning down Trent Alexander, and the overlap by Luke Shaw was excellent, and he pulls it back to almost the edge of the 6-yard box. Fernandes can't do any more than what he'd done. He's got a good contact, he's hit the target, but it was a good save with the left foot of Alisson.
Well, there was so nearly that cutting edge for Manchester United as Xherdan Shaqiri goes off and Curtis Jones just goes on for Liverpool. The youngster has come through the setup. A curly-haired, dynamic midfielder. And Manchester United are threatening to finish the game the stronger. Just over 15 minutes, just under 15 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. And it's 0-0. And Bruno Fernandes wincing after missing that challenge. He knows it was the opportunity that they've been looking for. Only scored one goal in their last 5 fixtures at Anfield coming into today. Manchester United not got a good run and not got a good record here of late, but they have been superb away from home, haven't they, this season? Liverpool have been so imperious at Anfield in the Premier League over the last 3.5 years, but no breakthrough for them today. Thiago just shy of the halfway line, throwing it forward towards Salah, who gets the ball away from Shaw, wide to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold deep cross towards Mane at the far post. He couldn't reach it, there's just too much on it, and it's going to roll out of play for a Manchester United throw.
And that's the first time Trent Alexander's really, I remember, getting in a good area to put a ball like that in, and there was so much of that going on last season. Teams struggled to stop it. Now we're seeing already a lot of teams, and I mentioned it earlier, West Brom and Newcastle, they stopped that. They didn't allow it to happen. Southampton didn't allow it to happen either. They made it very difficult for the fullbacks to get on the ball and deliver crosses.
Thiago, 35 yards out, onto his right foot, goes for goal. Good save by De Gea to his right-hand side. It's a save you'd expect him to make, but certainly the most difficult moment of the match so far for the Manchester United goalkeeper. 2 hands to turn away Thiago's fizzing drive.
Well, that's what happens when you've got a midfield player like Thiago in midfield who can do that. He just showed a bit of conviction. He made his mind up what he wanted to do when he got on that ball. And straight away, yes, you know, De Gea should have saved that. But I'll tell you what, it's the first time he's worked this evening.
Yeah, the first time the goalkeeper has been tested in any serious way. And Thiago, who of course has had this injury hit spell at Liverpool so far, yet to open his scoring account for the club. Liverpool do have a free kick in a dangerous position out on the far side of the left. It's midway into the Manchester United half, and Andy Robertson has gone across to take it. They'll take any goal from any source in this situation in front of the Kop. The champions have laboured here. Manchester United have been very effective in keeping them at bay, but Robertson's delivery, high left-footed, a looping delivery. Firmino got a touch, but Manchester United get it away. It's come back to Curtis Jones on the near side, back to a central position, and Thiago with the outside of his boot spins it crossfield to Robertson, who goes back to the halfway line. And Fabinho, you can almost imagine the groans from the home supporters if Anfield was busy and full. Instead there are empty red seats. It's not helped Liverpool that. Crossfield from Alexander-Arnold. Lovely bend on that ball to find Robertson. Robertson cuts it back to Wijnaldum into the penalty area, and he lays it off to Thiago on the run, slicing it wide on the half volley.
Yeah, that ball didn't come back to him maybe how he would have liked it, but he's starting to get more forward now, Thiago. He's just squeezing up a little bit higher. That's on 2 occasions now. He's had 2 shots in the air, the ball that come back to him. He just wanted it more on the floor, and it was actually putting it bounced just in front, so at least that's a little bit better for Liverpool in that sense. They are shooting from distance. That then maybe hoping that might just drag Manchester United out a little bit to close down. That would create space then.
And usually the big talking point and big issue for Liverpool at points this season has been lack of defensive cover, but they have not had the cutting edge required today in the final third, at least not so far. Jordan Henderson just shy of the halfway line. He's got Robertson out to his left. He's gone back instead to Alisson. Alisson, who's midway inside his own half. Square ball to Fabinho. 10 minutes to go at Anfield. Liverpool 0. Manchester United 0 on Premier League Live. Manchester City against Crystal Palace follows us here. Henderson back to Alisson again. More frustration for Liverpool. Goalkeeper having to deal with a succession of back passes. In the end, he sweeps it cross-field and out to the left, and Jordan Henderson.
And they're making it difficult now, United. Now they've squeezed up. See, Bruno Fernandes has squeezed up. Marcus Rashford hadn't done it. He was asleep on the halfway line. Fernandes was asking him to get up, and he didn't do it.
Salah, right-hand edge of the penalty area, looks towards Mane. Good covering by Wan-Bissaka to scoop the ball high and clear. Harry Maguire prevents the corner. It's a Liverpool throw 5 yards from the corner flag, taken quickly. Alexander-Arnold plays it back to Curtis Jones. 5 yards from the corner of the area again. Manchester United with that wall of grey in front of Liverpool, back behind the ball, making life oh so difficult for them. Jones plays it square to Henderson. Now out wide is Robertson. Robertson's delivery blocked by Wan-Bissaka. Still Liverpool toiling here at Anfield. It's with Curtis Jones again. 25 yards out, swings into delivery, far post is Alexander-Arnold, he knocks it back across, sliding in to clear is Victor Lindelof. First little bit of desperate defending really for Manchester United, who are coming forward on the counter-attack. It's 2 against 2, Rashford and Cavani. Rashford looking to go through the middle, Pogba to his right, Rashford will take it into the 18-yard box. That allows Fabinho to get the tackle in, and then Henderson smuggles it away. I mean, that's a big opportunity wasted for Manchester United, Paul Parker.
It certainly is, and Marcus Rashford has done it on numerous occasions. His decision-making sometimes. Cavani's made a really good run, and he's opened up a bit of space for him, but he could have reversed it back. His mind was made up, and he was being taken away from goal. Good defending by the Liverpool defence, but Cavani's reaction after was to turn to the bench, and you could see him, he was going mad. He was not happy at all.
McTominay crosses from the right, and it's ballooned out of play. We have not seen a game of football here between two of English football's, well, the two most decorated clubs. We've not seen a game packed with attacking quality. Just having a look at the replay of the Rashford-Cavani chance on our monitors, Paul Parker, and Cavani is furious.
Oh, he was going absolutely mad. He shouldn't really be doing that, but he just wasn't happy.
Wan-Bissaka from the right, it's fallen to Pogba! What a good save to his left by Alisson. Paul Pogba, head in hands, scored the winner at Burnley in midweek, and very nearly scored the winner at Anfield. It's a Manchester United corner.
Yeah, it started by Wan-Bissaka, his first real foray forward, and he manages to find Pogba, who cannot believe that was saved. Some people might say, should he have gone across the goal? But I'll tell you what, when you hit a shot from that distance and it's on target, all you can do is just turn round, and if it doesn't go in, just say unlucky. I mean, it was a good save in the end, almost point blank.
What a save from Alisson. Manchester United finishing the stronger. We're in the 84th minute. Luke Shaw will swing the corner in left-footed. High towards Pogba again, and in goes Rashford. Goalkeeper makes a great save at his feet. Referee says play on, and then in the end the flag does go up. Now, presumably, that wouldn't have counted, Paul Parker.
No, that's what we're looking at, but he's had to make a save there, which he could have got seriously hurt, by the way, with a save he had to make, and yeah, Rashford is well offside, and he's come out, and anything could have happened there. And again, Pogba's won a good header, and there was two of them offside, in an offside position, Cavani and Rashford, both of them. Liverpool squeezed up. The moment that ball pulled away from the corner, they just squeezed up.
Divock Origi on for Liverpool. He's a man for a late goal, isn't he? Roberto Firmino comes off. 5 to go. 5.5 to go plus stoppage time. 0-0. Manchester United will feel they've had the chances to win the game here. Certainly in the context of the lack of opportunities overall, Paul.
Yeah, without a doubt, when they have had the better opportunities to score a goal.
And here they come again with Bruno Fernandes down the left wing. Tries a cross with the outside of his boot. It takes a double deflection. And it's intercepted by Fabinho for Liverpool. We haven't seen the best of Bruno Fernandes today. Difficult circumstances for such a creative player to really have such a pivotal influence. It still could go either way, though.
The thing about it, though, is that everything that United have done in that area, except for the Pogba one, he's been involved in it.
Here come Liverpool with Alexander-Arnold near side the right. Origi far post, floats in the delivery. Alexander-Arnold headed away by Harry Maguire again. Liverpool just not convincing, coming forward once again.
No, I mean, Salah was calling for the ball there off of Alexander-Arnold. He's virtually saying just pull it up the side of Luke Shaw, because he was goal side of him. Then it was asking a question of Luke Shaw, does he let it run and get his recovery position, or does he stick a leg out and maybe give a penalty away? But Alexander-Arnold decided to try and do the cross, and he hit the first man.
Manchester City in action later against Crystal Palace. Commentary on Premier League Live in about an hour's time. Alexander-Arnold infield from the right, looks for Mane, sliding in, tries to touch it back to Thiago, but the Spaniard couldn't reach it. It's with Bruno Fernandes for Manchester United in his own half, on the near side the left, and back they go to the left back position, and Luke Shaw. 0-0, late stages under the lights at Anfield. The chances have been few and far between, but Manchester United have had a couple in these late stages here. Pogba herring down the right-hand channel. Henderson gets a foot in. That's going to go out of play and actually hit the corner flag and went out for a throw.
Yeah, he's not happy, Henderson. He's looking for a foul there, but it was just pure strength from Pogba. Henderson just couldn't deal with him. He's a big man, Pogba, and he's no small person, Jordan Henderson, but on a couple of occasions when he's gone against Pogba, Pogba's just brushed him aside.
Mason Greenwood stripped and ready to come on for Manchester United. You've got to throw right by the corner flag. They look the more likely of the two sides. 0-0. And Wan-Bissaka takes the throw, finds Cavani, plays it back, intercepted by Jones for Liverpool, scooped upfield by Thiago, up to Fred on the midway point of the Liverpool half, head tennis between the two players, and now Thiago controls again, clips it high, floats it through the middle. Shaw gets there in front of Salah. Luke Shaw has been excellent this afternoon. Paul Parker, out of all the Manchester United defenders, he has looked particularly composed to me.
Yeah, there's only been that one mistake where Liverpool got in when he got himself caught with the ball and ends up giving it away, but he has defended really well and he has gone forward really well as well. I mean, that overlap with his was excellent. The timing of it was excellent, and the pullback as well was just as good. But where the keeper's made, when Alisson, I should say, made a save from Fernandes,
who is tackled by Salah in the Liverpool right back position there. Salah, hustle and bustle as the electronic board comes up from the fourth official. I don't know whether he's only going to Solskjaer suggesting maybe they want to take a different player off than was first intended possibly here, because Mason Greenwood is going to come on, but there's a man down for
McTominay, I think it is.
Yeah, absolutely right. I wonder whether that might affect the Manchester United change, because there's only 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And Bruno Fernandes and Gini Wijnaldum in conversation. Paul Tierney, I think, just pointing out that there is an injury here and telling off for Bruno Fernandes. He's having words with Wijnaldum, who I think is going to come off anyway, and it's James Milner to take his place in Liverpool's final change. It has been a flat performance again from the champions, at least going forward. Promising in the early moments, but they couldn't create the chances they craved, and since then Manchester United have really grown into the game. Bruno Fernandes is furious at somebody. I don't think he wants to come off, but he is coming off, isn't he, Paul?
Yeah, he's not happy at all. People like to see that, a little bit fire in the belly, but it seems a little bit strange to me that he's taking him off when there's still look, there's still added time as well. Could still win the game.
That being said, though, 0-0 at Anfield, it wouldn't be a bad result. Mason Greenwood comes on and Bruno Fernandes a bit dejected. Goes to sit down in the main stand seats reserved for the substitutes. Last minute of normal time. Rashford trying to reach a ball from Cavani. Manchester United are having much the better of it in these last minutes. Henderson, the Liverpool skipper, gets a foot into clear. Manchester United throw level with the edge of the box. Shaw gets it back from Pogba. Wins another throw off Curtis Jones. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be, I think, in the grand scheme of things, very pleased, Paul Parker.
Definitely more, yeah. I mean, the second half has been better as an attacking force. Have had the better by far the better opportunities to go and win the game as well. So they have progressed their game from what it was in the first half. So he'll be very happy if they can come away at 0-0 from Anfield.
And there may yet be an opportunity for even more than that. We're into stoppage time. Pogba, left-hand edge of the penalty area, out to Rashford. Cavani in the middle. Shaw crosses, cleared by Henderson on the half volley. High hanging ball downfield, met by the head of Maguire. 3 minutes of added time. 0-0 as Mane wins Liverpool a throw. We've seen so little of Liverpool as an attacking force in the game. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer watches on with his hands in his pockets. Jurgen Klopp likewise, just to his right-hand side. And Alexander-Arnold will take the throw on the halfway line. I don't think Liverpool will ever settle for a draw in any game, but I think they'd probably take it in the grand scheme of things, given how the game has panned out today. Here's Origi, dead ball line, back to Salah. Over the edge of the 18-yard box, Salah looks up. Origi in space down the right-hand side. Origi, can he get a cross in? Origi does drag it towards the near post. It's turned away by Harry Maguire, and it's gone out of play, and I think for a Liverpool corner.
Yes, first Origi's, I think it's like his first touch, and he's earned a corner out of it. He's the one that you normally can come from last season. How many important goals did he score for him?
Quite a few. Plenty forward in red for Liverpool. Corner at the Kop end with just over 90 seconds to go. Can Liverpool snatch a late winner? In by Alexander-Arnold, over the head of the on-rushing Origi. It's come back to Thiago, nudges it square, poor header. Now then, Manchester United can counter-attack. Pogba has been tackled by James Milner.
Yeah, I don't know, he's just stopped there when he could have kept going forward, or at least put the ball in behind them, but he's given them possession again on a halfway line. Didn't really need that from Paul Pogba.
And so Fabinho, from the centre spot almost. Maybe the last attack for Liverpool. Just over a minute to go. Goalless. Henderson wide to Alexander-Arnold. He's got plenty forward in support. That looked like a handball off Luke Shaw. The referee, I think, was not in a good position to see it.
Well, that's not good from Trent Alexander-Arnold there. He had the hump because he never got his handball. And it was too close for it to be handball against Luke Shaw. And then he's dived in and he's caught him late as Luke Shaw's kicked through the ball.
Well, that being said, Manchester United might have been away on the counter-attack. It was a petulant challenge from Alexander-Arnold. And that might just about be that for the afternoon. 0-0 with 30 seconds to go on Premier League Live. Jurgen Klopp frustrated, but I don't think he can have any complaints if it does end as it looks to be doing at 0-0. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just speaking to Phil Neville. And we still wait for this free kick to be taken. I'm not sure what the reason for the delay actually is. How long it goes from De Gea downfield. We've had the 3 minutes of added time. Header from Fabinho up towards Divock Origi. Lip of the centre circle, little touch by Fred, squeezing it high up into the air. Thiago controls, out to Jones. Jones tears over the halfway line for Liverpool. Was he tripped by Rashford? Yes, he was. Yellow card for Rashford. There'll barely be enough time for Liverpool to take the free kick.
No, I think that's just got to go. It's going to go straight into the box now.
And it was a forwards challenge from Marcus Rashford. And Liverpool surely, as you say, Paul, are set to go long here. We've had 3.5 minutes of added time. Floodlights on the Kop. It's now or never for Liverpool. And Alexander-Arnold will take it square to Thiago. Thiago floats it high, deep to the far post. Fabinho heads it back across, away by McTominay. The final whistle goes, and Manchester United stay 3 points clear of the champions at the top of the Premier League. A draw away from home for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which keeps their unbeaten record on the road in the top flight this season going. Liverpool frustrated again, 4 without a win in the Premier League for them, but a satisfactory afternoon's work once more for Manchester United, who consolidated their lead at the top of the Premier League. 2 points clear of Leicester in second, 3, as I say, clear of Liverpool. It has finished here at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Cavani in the middle, Rashford goes it alone, sets up shoulders outside, drills it in low. Bruno Fernandes forces a great save from Alisson. That might have been the moment to win the match for Manchester United, and Alisson, who's not had a serious save to make, called into action there and was equal to it.
Fernandes can't do any more than what he done. He's got good contact, he's hit the target, but it was a good save with the left foot of Alisson.
Thiago, 35 yards out, onto his right foot, goes for goal. Good save by De Gea to his right hand side. It's a save you'd expect him to make, but certainly the most difficult moment of the match so far for the Manchester United goalkeeper. 2 hands to turn away Thiago's fizzing drive.
Just showed a bit of conviction. He made his mind up what he wanted to do when he got on that ball. And straight away, yes, De Gea should have saved that, but I'll tell you what, it's the first time he's worked this evening.
Wan-Bissaka from the right, it's fallen to Pogba! What a good save to his left by Alisson. Paul Pogba, head in hands, scored the winner at Burnley in midweek, and very nearly scored the winner at Anfield. Yeah, 2 good chances late on for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba both denied by Alisson. At the other end, slim pickings for Liverpool. Thiago with their best effort. It was a comfortable save for David De Gea, and you have to say, Paul Parker, a very good result for Manchester United, who might feel it could have been even better.
Yeah, it was a very good result for United, and I'm sure there'll be people saying that they maybe should have won it. Their second half performance after Liverpool's initial start to it was excellent, really. Defensively was excellent. As an attacking force, as counter-attacking, it was very good as well. But I mean, both sides in the end, I think, are happy. Liverpool, okay, again, the frustration of not scoring goals, David De Gea only worked once from Thiago's drive. So for Liverpool, they're not going to be content with that. For Manchester United, they're on a big high, still top of the league at this moment in time, and they put in a really good shift in that second half, and they got out of the game what they deserve. They didn't deserve any less than what they got.
And I wonder, from a Liverpool perspective, 4 without a win now in the Premier League, another game without a goal. Is there a concern for Jurgen Klopp that teams are perhaps starting to work out how to set up against them?
I think he was concerned about that maybe quite a while back, to be honest. It hasn't taken this one now with Manchester United. We've seen even how limited they were against West Brom, and how they gave that late goal away. I even saw them at Crystal Palace. They were 3-0 up at half time, but it could have been 3-3 that game at half time. It was only just their naivety, Crystal Palace, early in the second half, that cost them. So Liverpool at the moment are a little bit off. Teams have kind of seen how they're playing, and they're putting things up to stop them playing. The 2 full-backs, they know the front 3. The only difference is they've got a central midfield player who can really pass it now in Thiago, who's trying to find his feet now, getting his match fitness back. So he's going to get sharper and sharper, but they really do now need something different now to go on and try and retain this Premier League title.
And just lastly, Paul, before we go, how significant a result is that for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Has he proven today that potentially he can become a top manager?
I think he has. I think he'll take that. He'll look at the fact he's got to the top and he's still at the top, because the hardest bit in football when you're Manchester United is when you get to the top is staying there. Any team will say that. It's the most difficult bit, is to stay there, not just getting there. So yes, he's definitely earning the right at this moment in time. There's still going to be people who are not going to give him the respect maybe that he thinks he's deserved, but he's not going to let that bother him. I think he'll bide his time and he'll wait and see what happens at the end, and then maybe he'll speak after that.
Paul, good stuff as ever. Thanks very much indeed. That's the former Manchester United and England defender, Paul Parker, alongside me at Anfield this afternoon. So to recap from what we've seen in the Premier League so far, Tottenham 3-1 winners at Sheffield United. There was the third Spurs goal from Tanguy Ndombele that is well worth you watching. It was one of the stunning best goals of the season so far, without any question. Here at Anfield, Manchester United keep their lead at the top of the Premier League after a goalless draw against the champions Liverpool, and we've got more Premier League action still to come. Don't go anywhere. Manchester City against Crystal Palace is live with us. The build-up with Tom Rennie and David Connolly on the way next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport. 20 years old and still not able to make a cup of tea.
That's a great starting point, I think. Excuse me.
With bitter experience comes great responsibility.
Let's go to Cumbria and Fraser. Fraser, good morning. Hello. Fraser, get out of that lane.
The nation's first and best commercial sports radio station.
Live, lubricated and legendary.
20 years of Talk Sport.
Previously on White and Jordan.
When I was at Palace, I would not let them on the training ground. How did you enforce that? Because it's my training ground, you don't go on it.
100% engagement.
I read this and I immediately thought of Simon Jordan.
Look what you could have won. Here's that. Now you get this pile of pup, right?
Warning. Dangerous opinions ahead.
Jim White versus Simon Jordan.
Disagree to disagree continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Talk Radio.
Your trusted 24-hour resource for breaking news and non-stop conversation.
We've reached a perilous turning point.
Unparalleled radio for unprecedented times.
Doing nothing in the face of this quite rapid spread now is not an option.
Online, on DAB, and on the Talk Radio app. Talk Radio. Celebrating 20 swashbuckling years of Talk Sport.
Unbelievable!
The passion. The pain.
It's a shocking defeat.
The prima donnas.
I said a hip hop, a hippie to the hip hop, and you don't stop.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker.
Didn't say this in my contract when I joined TalkSport, mate.
20 glorious years of Talk Sport.
I'll do a lot of things, so I ain't into that.
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
Previously on White and Jordan.
There will be a mad, dirty rush to turn around and say that taxpayers' money should go to bail out football clubs that won't be able to get the one commodity that needs to take a reduction, players' pay cuts.
A daily landscape of fire, football, and fume.
Are you confused.com?
I'm confused as to why I'm sitting opposite you at times, yes.
Jim White and Simon Jordan continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Celebrating 20 years of Talk Sport.
Back of the net.
They said it wouldn't work.
What, you want to know what I want to say?
Sometimes it didn't.
Serious? Illegal ads.
But somehow it did.
And wrongdoing by the US government.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport. Premier League Live with Talk Sport. All the big goals and big moments from the world's biggest football league.
To Lacazette! First touch, first goal!
Ball into
Mane! Brilliant!
They have nicked it, Manchester United. Well, that is what champions do, right?
It's the most intense league in world football, and we've got all the action right here.
It's an outswinger! And it's headed in by Thiago Silva!
Jamie Vardy sends it down the middle, and Leicester have the lead.
That is exquisite from Leeds United! Sam Allardyce masterclass!
Premier League Live with Talk Sport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Manchester City against Crystal Palace from the Etihad Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie, and I like to think friend as well. Alongside me for this one is the former West Ham United, Leicester City and Republic of Ireland striker David Connolly. This is Premier League Live, and Manchester City back in the title mix in good form ahead of Palace's visit to the Etihad Stadium. They've now gone 14 games unbeaten in all competitions. They've also won their last 4 in the league to move into strong title contention, but Pep Guardiola is well aware how often Crystal Palace like to throw a spanner in the works in this fixture, winning here 2 seasons ago and drawing in the last campaign. Palace, they've showed renewed resilience since losing 7-0 to Liverpool and 3-0 to Aston Villa in consecutive games last month. In their last 3 Premier League matches, the Eagles have claimed draws against Leicester, Arsenal and beaten Sheffield United. Roy Hodgson, their boss, says his players will need to show enormous powers of concentration and discipline if they're to continue their good run this season and indeed against Manchester City away from home tonight. To the team news, starting with Manchester City, 4 changes from the side that beat Brighton last time out. Kyle Walker, Fernandinho, Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus come in. João Cancelo, Rodrigo, Riyad Mahrez and top scorer Phil Foden drop down to the bench. So, Ederson in goal, back 4 of Kyle Walker, Ruben Dias, John Stones and Alexander Zinchenko. Midfield, Ilkay Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne and Fernandinho, with Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus and Bernardo Silva the front 3. As for Crystal Palace, the big mystery is where is Wilfried Zaha? In all of our pre-match expectations, we were expecting Wilfried Zaha to be in the squad today, but he is not here. We've got our team trying to find out exactly where Zaha is. As soon as we know, you will know. Roy Hodgson makes further changes. Gary Cahill, James McCarthy and Jordan Ayew, the players to come in from the side that got that draw against Arsenal when the Eagles will feel they should have won. So Vicente Guaita is in goal, back 4. Joel Ward, James Tompkins, Gary Cahill and Tyrick Mitchell. Midfield looks, let's say, combative. Luka Milivojevic, James McArthur and James McCarthy. Jordan Ayew will play through the centre with Barry Eze and Andros Townsend supporting. Could be 4-3-3, could be 4-4-2. We will find out as we get to kick off in around about 45 minutes from now. To look ahead to this one with me, I am joined, as last night, I spent more time with him than I do with my own wife. It is David Connolly. David, always a pleasure to spend the majority of my weekend with you. What kind of game are we going to get tonight?
Well, I tell you what, obviously the big news, if you're Crystal Palace, is Zaha being out, top goal scorer. He's only named, 7 subs as well, rather than 9, which, I guess is alluding to. And look at Man City, they've got the 2 kids there, Liam Delap and Tommy Doyle that make up, their 8th and 9th sub. But obviously Roy's, that's a deliberate, isn't it? That's deliberate from Roy, as if to say, look, this is what I've got. Huge loss for them without Zaha. Cahill coming in, obviously hasn't played, since the Liverpool game. So a couple of big changes against the Man City side, who are obviously in fabulous form.
We don't know as yet why Wilfried Zaha is here, and one hesitates to speculate with the world we currently live in, and hopefully there's nothing too untoward going on. But I've got to say that the Twitter universe, I love it in these speculative moments. They're all saying he's having a medical with Arsenal, which I always enjoy. I mean, probably not. Probably not, but he has wanted away for a long time. We know that. That's pretty much public knowledge. And it's one of those things where I'm sure that Roy Hodgson will be looking to set the record straight as quickly as possible here.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously Wilfried's flirted with this before this move in, but what I would say, he's had coronavirus already, hasn't he? He missed, was it the Burnley game at end of November?
A couple of games, yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, he's obviously been on the score sheet. He's had a couple of hugs since then. Who knows? I don't know. Fingers crossed he is okay, but in terms of a move, I don't know. Look, I think they would want to keep Wilf, but by the same token, I think they'd gladly take the money. And if there was big money for him, I think he would go. Make no mistake. But we just don't know, do we, at the minute?
Let's talk about Manchester City. In tremendous form. 14 matches unbeaten in all competitions. They've won their past 7, just 3 goals conceded in 21 and a half hours. What's changed with Manchester City? Because Pep Guardiola mentioned, I think after the Brighton game, it was the first time anybody asked him a question about being in the title race, and now they're the bookies' favourites.
Yeah, well, I mean, they haven't been in the top 2, have they, all season? Obviously, and you look at the run of games they got coming up, they are really, really favourable. Obviously, Villa, coronavirus hit. You got then West Brom, Sheffield United, Burnley. So they are well in the shake-up. In terms of what's changed, I don't know. Obviously, they had a lot of injury problems, didn't they, at the start of the season, affected by coronavirus like everybody else. But I don't know, they just seem very, very confident. They don't really have a striker scoring all the goals. They've had something like, 16 different scorers. So no one's really sort of grabbed the metal. Like, I thought maybe Raheem Sterling would be streaking away with 15 or something by now. But that just hasn't happened. Same with Jesus and Aguero. But everyone else has picked up the slack. And obviously Phil Foden, the youngsters, having a terrific season coming in. Stones and Diaz have had a huge impact, haven't they, those two? Being absolutely solid as a rock. And I guess Rodrigo fitting in and fitting into the side. So there's been sort of, I guess the spine of it at the back has really helped them in terms of keeping clean sheets. What is it, 8? That's the best in the league, and they've only conceded 13. So that gives you a huge chance when you've got, the talent they have in the forward areas, despite maybe not having, someone as prolific as they used to.
Looks like a bit of a 4-3-3 tonight for Manchester City. They have got the focal point in Gabriel Jesus. They've done the false 9 at times in recent weeks, and indeed had 2 deep-lying central midfielders. Looks like it will just be Fernandinho this evening, as you heard there from David Connolly. Rodrigo has fit in for much of this season, but he is on the bench tonight, along with Zach Steffen, the US international, Ferran Torres, Benjamin Mendy, Riyad Mahrez, João Cancelo, who's been fantastic, I think, this season, so I'm sure just rested. Phil Foden, the joint top scorer, Liam Delap and Tommy Doyle. As for Palace, you mentioned there a couple of players missing, just 7 of the possible 9 named. Jack Butland, Patrick Van Aanholt, Scott Dan, Nathaniel Klein, Christian Benteke dropped down to the bench this evening, Michy Batshuayi and Jairo Riedewald. Lee Mason now referee, and Martin Atkinson, the dreaded VAR. Right, that's everything you need to know for the moment about this one. We'll return to Man City against Crystal Palace later in the programme as we count down to kick-off, which is in around about half an hour and change from now. When we come back, though, we're going to reflect on the games already completed today in the Premier League. Tottenham Hotspur victorious against beleaguered Sheffield United, and it wasn't great, but interesting nonetheless between Man United and Liverpool. Another top game ending goalless. We will reflect on both when we come back. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport.
Impress lost tribespeople of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated TalkSport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at TalkSport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, text, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
Talk Sport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to TalkSport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new TalkSport swimming pool. Golf! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Doug, a sporting legend and an angry